I accepted this match because
I can offer also playing drunk. Like I can drink on the stream, like I drink like whole bottle of wine.
I love the challenge and
I can play Fedor heads up any stakes you want. It's actually a deal.
I cannot wait to take this guy's money.
Fedor's an outstanding poker player.
He's just been winning tournament after tournament.
Whose name you might know from online. His username is Limitless. His real name is Viktor Malinowski.
If I focus fully on one thing, then it becomes better.
Yeah, don't even try.
I'm pretty confident in my game and ability. Playing on the highest level against the best in the world, it's always been a love of mine.
I crush everything in life. I'm just built that way, that I just like competition, I like tough matches, and I just enjoy the game.
Fedor Holtz is the champion, your EPT13 Barcelona Super High Roller champion. Fedor Holtz!
When I started actually playing with them, I noticed that, oh, actually everyone is beatable, so...
The lowest stakes now to the highest stakes. Tell me about when you first started grinding online.
We started fucking free rolls.
Yeah. I never deposited, yes.
I'm ready to take you on.
Now I can just enjoy, drink.
Better don't drink too much while playing.
In terms of win rate, I think like 20 BB should be fine.
I think he's gonna be the favorite coming in, but I'm very lucky. I'm gonna motherfucking destroy you.
Hello everyone and welcome to week 38 already of the High Roller Super Millions, where we have a special edition. It's a 25k buy-in this week. But Natanoka, we gotta talk about that video we just saw. How do you not have a massive smile on your face after watching that little 2-3 minute highlight trailer? That was awesome.
I've never seen that video before. It's super epic. You know, like, did you see the part when Limitless was smoking a cigar? I was just like, oh, just cracking up inside. I was like, oh my god, this is super epic. It's like a super big baller, and there's a Fade on the other side. It's like, I'm gonna crush you, I'm gonna crush you. But like, he really does look like the end boss, Limitless. I'm super excited for that. And I believe they're starting this Friday. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct. This Friday, 4 sessions, 400 hands, and all of it will be done within a week. So we just have an absolutely amazing week of heads-up poker ahead of us. All of it will obviously be streamed. They'll be playing on the GG software, so we're going to spam emotes, maybe even make videos. And the best thing about it, Natanoko, whole cards up, and they'll be live on a Zoom call together, talking trash to one another. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. I'm just gonna put it on my TV, you know, feet on the couch and lean back and enjoy the show. I think this is going to be one of the coolest things that I've seen in poker, especially when it comes to online poker, in a very long time. I love the part where he's like, I crush everything, I'm just built different, or I'm built that way. I was like, yes, I love it, I'm gonna use it. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, it's going to be super sick. I mean, like, GG has stepped it up again. I mean, they're just really delivering on all fronts, right? Whether it's the platform, content. I mean, this is probably some of the best content we will see in a long time, because they're having some heads-up challenges. While Doug poking Dan Negreanu was pretty cool, this one is whole cards up, and that makes a much better viewing experience, and a Zoom call with together where they're going to be talking trash. Like, these guys aren't going to be on the Zoom call and just kind of silent and clicking buttons and stuff, right? They're going to be talking smack, showing bluffs and stuff like that. It's going to be epic, and I'm definitely going to be watching that. I don't care what time it is in my time zone. I'm going to be watching that, Roddy.
Same here, mate. I mean, like, I've got some time off now anyway, so I can watch those. I can pretty much watch every single minute, I think, unless it is like the following Friday. But the first Friday, 100%. I'm canceling everything that I was supposed to do that day. It's going to be so cool. I believe the blinds they'll be playing is 100, 200, so it's gonna be so fun. I can't wait for it. Anyway, Natanoka, we've got 7 minutes left until our final table betting segment ends, and this is obviously our pre-show. So let's just take a look at the 9 players that have made it to the final table of this 25k High Roller edition. And what a lineup it is. Nano, 8 out of 9 players have made it to one of our final tables before. I'm sure that you can figure out which one didn't make it to a final table. That one kind of stands out, but this is a pretty insane lineup.
It is a sick final table, but not just because it's a sick lineup, it's a $25,000 buy-in, right? Like, this is our first 25K Super Millions in 38 editions, I believe it is. It's a big prize pool. There's a lot more money up top, and I'm not surprised. There's all these sick names up there, and you know, it's been a very long time, but Matthias Eibinger is finally back. I remember in the beginning of the Super Millions, he was final tabling every single time, getting very deep runs, and now he's back at the top, coming in second position. But he's got a lot of tough opponents out there. Some of your favorite players that I didn't know much about before, like Arseniy Malinov, Alex Ponakovs. It's really hard to tell you who you should be betting on in the final table betting. I'd be very confident in the top 2 as a chip leader in general, but you know, the other guys aren't too far behind. You know what I would really do? I'd bet on Daniel Dvoress, because I know he's a sicko. Yeah, he's only got like 7 big blinds, but he's getting 35 to 1, Roddy.
That is obviously massive, but what really stands out for me is Joao Vieira. We know that he's very good. He is no stranger to these final tables. He plays these kind of tournaments all the time. But there have only been $741 placed on him. Look at the guys around him. Jason Koon, obviously a massive name, and someone with a lot of fans. 9K versus $741. No, why is the world of poker so weird?
I mean, you know, there's just too many sickles here. They couldn't decide. You know, Joao Vieira isn't usually someone's favorite player, right? They know he's good, but they're gonna usually, you want to bet on your one favorite guy, and then I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the chip leaders or Matthias Eibinger or Jason Koon. It's funny that you say he's got the least amount of betting on him. Usually, when it's the least amount of money bet on a player, the odds are a little bit in your favor, I imagine, right? Because if more money goes in on a guy, I think the odds go down a little bit. Yep. So there's still some value. If you can still got like 4 minutes to get some bets in on Joao Vieira if you'd like to. But like I said earlier, I like Daniel Dvoress. I like to look at who's at the bottom, and if it's a sicko, like, it's almost like a mandatory bet, right? Because the odds are so crazy. He's got 7 big blinds, 1 double, 2 doubles. He's in it. We've seen the bottom guy win it before. I believe there's a little special on Daniel Dvoress if you can get in. There's a. Do you know about that, Roddy?
I do not, but I can take a look at it, mate.
Yeah, we do have a special.
I guess it's a 10% boost on winnings if you bet on Daniel and he wins, but it's maximum $50. So, I mean, obviously, you can still get a pretty decent little boost because, obviously, the odds are very big. So if you would bet $50 at him and then it's a 10% boost, well, you'll still get a massive payday. I don't know, though. I'm a dreamer, but I don't know if I'm that much of a dreamer. And on top of that, Daniel Dvoress, yeah, he won like a couple of the big ones over GG. He won the Millionaire Maker, right? Or am I confusing him?
Yeah, I think it was the Millionaire Maker. Something big, but it wasn't our Super Millions because he's been to our final table before as a chip leader, and he went out in like 5th or 6th or something terrible.
I don't know, like 200K is really not that much. What I'm really excited about today is how things are going to change, because obviously we are kind of familiar with how most people play the 10Ks, but with the 25K, some of these pay jumps are all of a sudden going to be a lot bigger than what we're used to. And then, I mean, ICM this, ICM that, you know, I'll leave that to you, Nanonoko. I want to see blood, but I can definitely understand that we're going to be a little more ICM aware tonight when we are playing at 25K, and obviously these pay jumps are massive, even for these guys.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's a very good point about this being a 25K. Some of the guys might make a little bit less moves in some spot. I remember Arseniy Malinov, for example. He made some crazy plays when he played our 10K final table before. This time, you know, I think he went crazy and he busted out. Maybe this time he's back again. He's like, oh, it's a little bit more money. Maybe I don't make such a crazy bluff this time. Who knows, though? Sometimes, though, it's the guy who's willing to stand out just a little bit that gets that extra edge, but obviously on the flip side, they could potentially bust first. Alex Ponakovs, if we can get him to the top, that guy will put the pressure. He knows these people want these big pay jumps, but as long as he's in the middle, he's gonna kind of hang in there too, right? He's gonna want those pay jumps. One thing I would look for personally is if I'm at this final table, I'll be like, check the lobby. Did any of these guys sell action? Because maybe that changes things. Maybe they play tighter, or maybe they're not as scared.
I actually believe that Alex Ponakovs is the only one who used the staking future and made it to the final table with his first bullet at least. Maybe some of these guys tried to sell some action, but you know, I remember our guessing game last week. We did have a couple of 4 buy-ins. Now, I didn't spot a single 5 buy-in, but I did have a couple of 4 buy-ins, including Limitless. He was pissed that he lost against Ferrari Man last week, so he wanted to get one back on the board. Sent 4 bullets, but couldn't make it to the final table, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was actually watching the final few tables of this as it unfolded, try to see who was going to make our final table, who we get to commentate on. It was pretty exciting. At one point, I remember Michael Adamo was a chip player. I'm like, yes, we're going to get a Michael Adamo here at the final table. I look around, all of his chips are gone. He's eliminated from the tournament. I'm like, what happened? He bluffed it off as usual. Standard Michael Adamo. I'm sure we'll see. He probably lost some of these chips to these guys, right? It's such a star-studded field. It's going to be a great tournament today.
Well, I've prepared some of our hand histories that I know we're going to cover, and you'll figure out why Michael Adamo lost most of his chips, Nano. I know that I promised last week that I am done with final table betting, because if my favorite player and poker superstar Limitless cannot close out a 3-1 lead over a dude called Ferrari Man, then I just know that I am as cursed as you are when it comes to predicting hands, but then me about winnings. But I couldn't help myself. I saw this and I was like, you know what? If no one believes in Joao Vieira, I'll put 30 bucks on him. And then I was like, well, Jason Koon is a fan favorite, and I'm sure that a lot of people really want Jason to win. So I'll put 30 bucks on Jason too. But that was it, Nanonoko. That was it.
Yes, I'm glad Roddy did not quit. I was going to ask you if you did some final table betting, but like, oh, maybe he skipped this. I don't know. Maybe he had a bad week. Who knows? I'm not going to ask Roddy if he put some final table betting on, but I'm glad you did. That's good to hear. And giving some support to Joao, you were just like, nah, he just can't be betted on, right? Like, you feel bad for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is outrageous to me. 9K, 6K, Alex Ponakovs 2.5K, that's like somewhat near, but all they got is 5K, 9K on Matthias Eibinger, who's obviously really good, and we've covered him in the earlier weeks, but I thought that Joao Vieira deserved a little more love than that, so I was like, you know what, 30 bucks. And it's also fun to see Reptar in the midst of all of this, you know.
How about Reptar with 2x the bets of Joao Vieira? Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that is actually, I mean, then again, if last week Ferrari Man can ship it, and I don't know what those odds were, but they were pretty good too. I mean, I actually like wrote to some of my StarCraft friends. I was like, guys, you want to hear a ridiculous story? They're like, go ahead. I was like, all right, so on one end, you've got this dude, right? Who's a poker superstar. He's an absolute baller, plays the highest stakes. He tried making final tables, didn't work. Finally has it. They're like, uh-huh. I was like, I put some money on him beginning of final table, and he's just having the sweetest ride up to heads up, basically. You know, his good hands holds. He's able to avoid a couple of dicey scenarios. He gets heads up against a dude called Ferrari Man. He has a 3-1 chip lead, and he lost. And they look at me, they're like, sounds pretty rough. I was like, mate, this is ridiculous. You can't even make this up. Anyway, no, that's it. Final table betting is now closed. If you guys were able to get a couple of extra bets in, last minute bets, we wish you all the best. So I guess that brings us to our regular pre-show. You guys know the drill. We're going to talk about the players. We're going to cover their profiles, go over some of the hands they have played. And in 28 minutes, we'll be covering some actual poker, which is obviously what everyone is looking forward to. First off, Nano, how was your week?
It was good. Just chilling, relaxing. Not too much crazy happening. I mean, I was excited about that match. I saw that. I'm really just been waiting. I'm like, okay, oh, not Friday yet, but it's coming.
Did you watch a little bit of the StarCraft 2 World Championships then?
I did not personally. The only thing I really seen is whatever you've been tweeting or Instagramming. Yes, I do follow you on those accounts. And I know you've been busy with the StarCraft. I guess it's all over. It was a good show for you, Roddy?
Yes, it was actually a very good show. And we had a little bit of a special moment too, because for the first time in 11 years, a kid that's not from South Korea became world champion of StarCraft 2. Well, we had it in 2018, but this tournament has been running for over 11 years. It's always been won by Koreans, and for the first time ever, a young Italian boy won it. And this kid is fantastic, so we had a beautiful week. Was a lot of fun. Definitely missed it. Some nights I was like, you know what, I had a fun day, casted a couple games, let's hop onto GGPoker, play a couple tourneys. But with poker, I really feel like you need to be like, today's my poker day. You know, you need to sit down and you need to enter the matrix and play your best, because if you just want to sit down and have a couple deep runs, I have realized that that's not the style for me, because not a single deep run was made, Nanonoko. Not even like an almost deep run. It was a fiesta. It was horrible. But yeah, it was a fun week.
Are you gonna throw in one of those $500 buy-in Super Millions week? I believe they're happening right now.
That is absolutely my plan. I mean, like I said, this week I don't have a lot to do, and I'm absolutely going to take my time. So I want to play in some of the lower buy-ins of the high roller week that is happening at GG. Yeah, $500 bounty builder sounds like a lot of fun. You know, stream all of it, spam some emojis, use the snap cam so people think I'm really bad. You know, they may label me as bad, but I want them to think that I'm really bad so I can still surprise them with my badness. You know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun week of poker. Let's get it on then. We've got a lot of profiles to cover. Let's take an in-depth look at the 9 players that have made it to our final table this week of our 25K unique high roller Super Millions. First up, our chip leader, who was just at the final table, I feel like very recently, actually. More recent than that. Maybe, I don't know.
Nah, he hasn't been the chip leader, because if we look at his finishes, he got a 9th and an 8th place finish. I mean, that'd be a really poor chip leader for us, Roddy. But Seth Davies, he's a big crusher. He's done poorly in the Super Millions. He's had his opportunities because, yeah, he's made some final tables, but this time he actually has a big chip stack. 74 big blinds, and he's one of these guys actually that plays 25Ks, 50Ks, and 100Ks very regularly because he plays at the Aria in Vegas when they were running those tournaments regularly. So I think he's got a little bit of edge today. I think he's not going to be as scared as some of the other guys out there.
You know what I love, and this is why I remember talking about Seth Davies. I think it was about the January 3rd show, and he did come in as 8 or 9 back then. But yeah, his profile says he's first on the Oregon all-time money list. And I'm like, well, you know, Nano, I don't want to brag, but I think I'm first on the all-time Zuidland money list. Now, there aren't a whole lot of people living in Zuidland, the Netherlands, but as I believe Nano's... are you still here, Nano? Yes, you are. Yeah, it's kind of funny how they phrased it. Anyway, it's really cool to have Seth Davies come in as our chip leader tonight. Let's take a look at one of the hands that made him the chip leader coming into this final table. And it's against your man, Nanonoko, Michael Adamo, bluffing it all off against Seth Davies. What do you make of this hand?
What in the actual beep is that, Michael Adamo? Oh my god. Alright, so in this hand, it's actually, it goes, he defends the big blind against the under the gun with the Jack-3 clubs. Standard Michael Adamo, right? Check on the flop. He 2x overbets the pot on the turn with his flush draw. And of course, Seth Davies is going to call with his top pair, top kicker. And then he goes for like a 1.5x shove on the 7, which is just a bluff, right? Gets called by the top pair, top kicker. Adamo had the chip lead, I think, at this point. We're very close to it, I remember. With this hand, you know, it is reasonable for him to continue shoving the river. Like, if he's going to represent a 4 on the turn, then he might as well just go for it on the river, right? Like, because I guess his opponent could easily have, like, some ace-high potential to call. I don't know, 2x overbet, ace-x of clubs, although you have 2 clubs in your hand. He could represent Jack-10. It's possible. He could represent a 6-5. Possible, 10-6. It's just a lot of overbetting, a lot of thin bluffs. It's just the thing, a lot of guys, they go for this one-time overbet bluff, right? And then when they get called, they're like, I'm done. But Michael Adamo likes to follow through with it. Seth Davies knows it, so he makes the big call down, and that's why Seth Davies is our chip leader today.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Adamo technically had a very good hand to bluff. Yeah, like you said, he has a jack, so he can go for the jack-10, and obviously he had the club, so maybe if he's bluffing on the turn, he can still get there on the river. But this was obviously quite deep into the tournament, and just a massive misstep for Michael Adamo. But this is absolutely what helped Seth Davies being our chip leader coming into tonight. Even though he got way more chips after this, I think at this point, I gotta say, it's a pretty good call on the river though, Nano. Like, yeah, you can say, you know, he calls with top pair, top kicker, but with your tournament life on the line in a 25K, all of a sudden, if I was in that spot, ace-9, I wouldn't feel that great about it, but well done.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a very tough call to make, especially in a 25K very deep in the tournament. The thing is, Adamo, he did it to the wrong guy. Seth Davies is, you know, he's not as scared as maybe some of these other guys might be that, you know, maybe satellite it in, or, you know, they're not used to playing 25Ks, but Seth Davies, well, he'll make big call downs, he'll make big bluffs. I feel like it might have been the wrong guy to do it against, but Adamo really is not scared of a single player in that tournament, right? Like, he'll try to bluff everyone, even he'll try to bluff Limitless, you know, like, because they play in those same 500 1K games at one point in time in the cash games. He's just relentless, and you know what happens to relentless people sometimes is they bust out really quick.
All right, let's take a look at the man who comes in second tonight, a very familiar face to the High Roller Super Millions. Matthias Eibinger, he's back. This is his 5th final table, his 10th cash. You guys can see it in the bottom right. He got so close a couple of times. A 2nd place, a 2nd place, a 3rd place. And that first 2nd place was in a High Roller week as well, Nanonoko, so that was a massive payday. It's good to have Matthias back. We know that he's just very solid, right? He doesn't get too out of line. He's not super crazy, but we know that he's an amazing poker player.
One of the best in the game. He's very solid indeed. You know, whenever we've seen his final tables, he's very good at understanding ICM. Sometimes he'll deviate from him to put some pressure on there, but he won't go too crazy, make some stupid call-offs and stuff like that. He's done very well in our Super Million. So well, we added an extra digit in his Super Million total winnings somewhere. You know, 103329996. There's an extra digit in there somewhere. But you know, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 2nd is very good. We've had guys make our final tables. They get a 2nd, and then they get like a 5th or 7th, right? This guy has consistently done well. Kind of reminds me of Lena 900, who's done really well in our Super Millions, but hasn't won it yet. Maybe today's the day for Eibinger.
I do want to let everybody know that's watching the stream that in 10 minutes our first free roll of the night kicks off. We're giving away 22.5 or $2.50 tickets. Password is super, so just head over to the free roll section. Password is super. If you're playing in it, good luck. Hopefully you win something. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Eibinger had on his journey to just another final table for him. I gotta say, this hand, Nanonoko, you want me to do the analysis? Because I can do it.
You got it, you got it. Let's see that hand history.
All right, let's take a look at one of the hands that Matthias Eibinger had. Well, here we go, guys. Pocket 3, 6, 5, and pocket 10s. Pre-flop, Matthias Eibinger goes all in. That's his first action. He gets called by Bruno Vogtman, and he gets called by Victor Bildigan. He's got pocket 3s again, 6, 5, 10, 10. Didn't get it in super good, Nanonoko, but that flop actually looks pretty like rough too, right? It's like, don't have a lot going. Like, maybe backdoors. And then he's like, all right, we turn an open-ender on the turn. But obviously the 6 could be dicey. And then it's just a dream river card. The ace of spades on the river. Bam, bam.
And classic Eibinger using some emojis, right? He's got the little scratch his head Elky emoji. I'm not sure which one that is. Is that the WAP? Rowdy,
yes,
you know?
I actually think it is WAP, because it's definitely not the not sure if, because that's where Elky tilts his face in a different way and he has a different expression on his face. I don't know. I think it's WAP. That's a good question, Nana.
Is it a good question? I don't know if it's a good question, but it is a question, Rowdy.
It makes me wonder. I'll let you know next week, okay? Next week, I promise you, I have studied up on my Elky emotes, but I think it's WAP. I'm like 90% sure it's WAP. Anyway, obviously a hand that we can't say too much about other than the fact that Matthias Eibinger ran pretty good. And I did say he doesn't get too out of line, but he did just shove pocket 3s from middle position pretty much. Or actually, no, the cutoff. He shoved it from the cutoff and he got called by the small blind and the big blind. Well, all right, it is what it is. Let's take a look at the next player that has made it to the final table. He's back again, Arseniy Malinov. We've seen this dude a couple of times. Apparently played a satellite into this event, but that was still a 2.5K satellite. He has played in 21 High Roller Super Millions so far, made it to 4 final tables. That's really good, Nano. 21 tries, 4 final tables, 1 out of 7 times. Pretty solid.
Pretty solid indeed, and some pretty big scores. They're not top 3 finishes, but they're still pretty big. Even his 8th place finish was 152K. That was one of the bigger Super Million events for us. He's here today. It's one of the bigger events, right? The 25K. He's a good player. Is he as big of a name as the other guys? No, but he was a pretty strong and aggressive player from what I remember.
Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Arseniy had on his journey to his fourth final table. And he was taking some chips from Limitless in this one. Pocket Kings battling it out with Jack 10 of clubs. Nano, I mean, it all went in on the turn. What do you make of it?
I just want to know which bullet of the 4 was this for Limitless. I don't know which one it was. Probably not the first one. I'm going to guess the third.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't have those numbers for you. I didn't follow all of that, but it could be the second. Looking at the chips around, like it feels like people were not ultra deep yet.
Could be. It is also Limitless. We never know, right? But as played, I mean, once you check raise this flop and you call the flop 3-bet and like you turn the pair, you just got to go with it. You got enough equity, even against an overpair hand. And sometimes your opponent has like an ace-4 clubs or something like that, and then, you know, you'll be in great position. Once he turns that pair, he has to call off.
Yep, obviously the kings did hold, and that gave Arseniy a lot of chips to work with, and is what eventually allowed him to make it to the final table. Let's take a look at our next man, the only player that actually sold a bit of his action that made it to the final table. He sold only 12%, even though he offered to sell 50%. And, well, seems like we missed out on some value there, Nanonoko. Why didn't we buy a piece? What the hell?
I always say this about Ponakovs. Whenever we talk about the staking feature, he always comes to mind because he always tries to sell action on his first bullet. He's done very well in the Super Millions. He knows how to play tournament poker, you know, very well. Like, I just think you guys should really, if you want to bet on someone with the staking feature, you should just look for him. He's always selling action.
Let's take a look at one of the hands that Alex Ponakov had on his journey to just another final table. And guess who he took some chips off, Nanonoko? There he is again, Michael Adamo. Talk to me, Jack Deuce of clubs versus Ace-10 offsuit.
I mean, like, this was actually the last hand for Michael Adamo. Registration had closed. This is how he dusted off the final amount of his chips. Adamo, from his point of view, he raises the button. He bet jams for a value of Ace-10 because he thinks he's got this crazy image, which he does, and he thinks he's going to get called by worse, but Ponakovs just flop trip jacks with the Jack Deuce, and really, check call is the play against Adamo because we know he's willing to blast off with nothing. There's no point in raising the flop, no point in raising the turn because Adamo will either value on himself or he'll bluff it off.
Yep. I mean, obviously unfortunate, right, for Michael Adamo. Alex Ponakov in the big blind, Jack Deuce. Like, all right, let's just see a flop and then trip jacks. And before you know it, it's all over. Unfortunate ending for Michael Adamo, but well done by Alex Ponakov. Even though that's a hand, I think I could have played it, Nano. I don't think I would have raced anywhere. I think I would have done exactly like you just said. Some check calling, it's all good. Let's take a look at our next hand, where we look at the man that none of you apparently believe in. He is the all-time money list leader when it comes to players from Portugal. He has played in a lot of the high roller Super Millions, apparently 36 times. He has made it to 3 final tables. Say he's like probably slightly profitable. It's close, but it's obviously not bad. But after tonight, Nano, he should be in the green.
Yeah, after tonight, he should be in the green for sure. Looks like he made day 2 of the Super Millions Week main event. That's a 10 million guarantee. That's a multi-day flight, 10K. I believe there's several flights you can join in. So that's a good one to make day 2 in, right? Because that means if you haven't made day 2 yet, you're probably in for multiple bullets, and that tournament can get pretty expensive for some of the guys out there.
Yes. I feel like I know those flights. It's like, ah, that's a flight, another flight. Before I know, it's like, how many times do I have to play before I... And then you do finally make it to day 2, and you've got like 17 bigs, and you're like, well, let's hope I run it up. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Joao Vieira had on his journey to his 3rd, 4th final table, whatever it was. Ace-Jack offsuit against Queen 5 of hearts. Good call on the turn. Went check on the river. I would have liked to see... imagine if Reptar would have bet again on the river, then I guess it depends how big he would have bet, but good call on the turn at least, though, Nella.
Yeah, I agree. From Joao Vieira's point of view, it's a pretty good call on the turn, and, you know, once he gets the check on the river, like, it's a mandatory check back. If Reptar had bet again, the 10's actually a good card from bet again, because if he had, like, an 8, of course, he'd keep betting. If he had a straight draw, he would have had a straight, like a 6-7, and if he had, like, a 10-jack, he'd have a pair to go with and probably would value bet. It'd be very, very hard for Joao to call for ace-jack if there was one more bet coming in. So, you know, sometimes a little scary to throw in an extra bet, but it would definitely work. But nice call from Joao.
Mike or Dama would have fired the river.
He would have fired all of it, okay? Come on, like 464k, let's go.
And it would have worked, because this time his opponent would not have had trip jacks or anything else that would have been good enough to call. All right, that brings us to our next player, and we haven't spoken about him that much yet tonight, but Nanonoko, tell us why it's a big deal that we have Jason Koon at this final table tonight.
He's a very big name. He's a very big crusher. I mean, when Triton did their cash games, they were playing those sick big buy-ins, right? He was involved in the biggest pot at the moment, at that time on televised cash games. It was like a $2 million pot, I believe, US, if I recall correctly. Or was it $1 million? Maybe it was $1 million, sorry. I can't remember anymore. It's been a while. He lost that pot, by the way. Anyways, Jason Koon's a sick crusher. I don't actually remember him being at our final table. Apparently he got 4th in one of our Super Millions for 164k. But he's only
a long time ago.
Yeah, he only played 9 times, so 2 final tables is actually really good, and 4 cashes. It's a good track record. Because at first I looked at his Super Million total winnings, 224k. I'm like, oh, he's definitely losing in the Super Millions. But
no, he's not.
Seeing the number of entries, he's definitely winning and doing very well.
Yeah, he's actually, that's amazing to be honest. 1 out of 4.5 times he makes it to a final table with 10k. That's, well, this time at 25k even. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Jason Koon had that didn't really help him to make the final table, as he was battling it out with David Yan. Shout out to David Yan, by the way, 4 bullets this week. Nanonoko, you know, he was.
He tried.
Yeah, he absolutely did try, and I guess this was pretty much the end of the first bullet of Jason Koon. I mean, not the most interesting hand ever. They both got it all in pre-flop, very standard. Ace King suited versus jacks. The flop, the flop is so mean. It teased him so hard. It's like, all right, basically any card now, right? Any heart, any ace, any king. But the run out was not what Jason Koon was looking for.
Roddy, you're not sure though that he didn't run up this 285 chips, right? Like, it's possible, isn't it?
I'm very sure.
You can't be very sure. There's at least a 1% chance.
I saw it. No, okay, I didn't see it. But come on, I do not believe in that, Nanonoko. I mean, I know it happens once in a blue moon. Those runs are ridiculous, but I believe Jason Koon. Let me just double check, Nano, but I know that he tried more than once.
I'm pretty sure he tried more than once, but I'm just saying, there is a chance. It's 285 chips.
So he's in for 3 bullets. So you gotta tell me that the first 2 bullets didn't work out, but bullet number 3, he ran up 285 chips into a stack over $1 million. No. I'm just gonna say, guys, that this was the end of one of his bullets. Let's move on to our next player, someone who's also made it to a final table before, but back then he was playing under the account Button Smashing Monkey. I remember that we were laughing about it, but we're like, hey, this guy's actually playing pretty good for a Button Smashing Monkey. And apparently it's David Coleman. How familiar are you with David Coleman?
Not at all. It doesn't look like he plays the Super Millions too often. It's only his 8th appearance, but 2 final tables out of 8 appearances is pretty good. He actually final tabled one of our original Super Millions, right, on June 30th, way long ago. I'm probably one of the first 3 or 4 editions is what I'm going to guess. But no, I don't know much about this player.
All right, well, I do remember the name Button Smashing Monkey, and I remember that we both thought, like, man, we thought he was going to be wild, but he wasn't that wild. He was just playing solid. Let's take a look at one of the hands that David Coleman had on his journey to this final table. As we take a look at, well, another hand with a lot of pre-flop action. Nano, what do you make of all of this?
Well, you can see Ponakovs was involved in this hand, and he check-called the flop with his little gut shot. Banked it, jammed, got called by the set of David Coleman and held. So if Ponakovs didn't hit that card, he probably would be in for multiple bullets, but now he's in with his staking still alive.
What do you make of the... I mean, obviously it's hard to fold sets, but that is one of the ugliest sets I've ever seen, though, right? Like, bottom set on an 8, 9, 10 jack board with 2 clubs and 2 hearts. I mean, it's not a pretty looking set.
No, it is not. Like, maybe David Coleman was just thinking, look, registration's still open. Maybe I'm good. He's got like a flush draw. If not, I'm gonna pair it up. You ever have those like feelings where, you know, I'm just gonna pair up and make a boat anyways on the river and just make some calls, you know? But this is one of those stories where you have that good feeling, but it didn't turn out so good.
Like in PLO, you definitely call. You're like, all right, they're drawing to some flush, and the board is gonna pair anyway. But I guess obviously the pot was very big, and it's like 65k to potentially win 280k. You do still have a set, but I think at that point David Coleman knew that he's probably gonna need a little help on the river. Anyway, guys, that brings us to our 8th player tonight. We're going fast, Nanonoko, and the good thing is that we don't really have a lot to say when it comes to this player, because next up, I believe, is the profile of Reptar. Now, what do we know about Reptar, guys? The answer is not much. This is his biggest cash already, no matter what happens tonight. But he did play in 4 Super Millions, Nano, so... And it's also 25k, so maybe it's someone... But then again, he also plays a lot of smaller tournaments. What do we make of this?
This is just, you know, it's like, YOLO, I've got 25k left in my account. I'm just going to enter the 25k and go for it. It's weird because he won the GG Masters $150 freeze out tournament for 45k. We've got some $300 scores in there. This guy, when I look at the profile, I don't believe he should be in a 25k. And he didn't satellite in apparently, Roddy. This is some YOLO buy-in right here.
Yeah. It's honestly a bit weird, or maybe, like, it's easy to say that maybe he plays high rollers on different sites, but most high rollers don't necessarily grind the $300 Sunday triple chance, right? Like, there are better ways to spend your time if you're normally playing 10Ks or 25Ks, but hey, perhaps a modern day poker fairy tale story, or indeed the most YOLO move of the century. We don't know. Maybe we'll know a little bit more if we take a look at his hand. Now, I don't know what you're going to make of this hand, Nanonoko, but yeah, it's a 6 deuce of spades. He was in the big blind. In his defense, he was in the big blind. Yeah, talk to me. What do you see?
Well, let's see. He check calls against our favorite guy, Jay Anderson, aka Mr. Gamble. He turns a flush, check raise all in, gets called by the flop straight. He played the hand pretty good. I can't really blame him here. I'm just still thinking about... I think I know why he entered this tournament. He misclicked. He was looking to stake some people, and he accidentally registered for the tournament and had to play it. That's the only explanation I got for you, Roddy.
What if he was indeed just like playing some poker on Sunday, and he's like, oh, it's a 25k, maybe a 250 buy, and he's like, click, click. He's like, oh my god, like, you know, you can unregister if the tournament hasn't started yet, but if the tournament has started, then you just get sent in. It actually happened to me once. I wanted to play a $100 tournament, a $100 Omar or something, and I misclicked and it was a 1k Omar, and I was like, well, let's hope I run good. I did not. Anyway, we wish all the best to Reptar tonight. It's pretty fun to just see this one dude in the midst of all these heavy hitters in the world of poker. And that obviously brings us to our short stack, our 9th player to make it to the final table of our special edition High Roller Super Millions 25k. Let's go! The last player is Daniel Dvoress. As we can take a look at his beautiful profile. It is a good looking profile, Nanonoko. The bottom right could be a little better, right? Like we've seen people with first, second, first, third, you know, third, fifth, seventh. I think that's the only thing that we could improve about this profile of Daniel Dvoress. Maybe could increase the high roller Super Millions of winning bid, but he's obviously working on it. I mean, you look at this and you just want to take a bow. You're like, well done, Daniel. You have beat poker.
Yeah, he's obviously a very sick player. He's definitely profiting in the Super Millions. Actually, most of his final table performances, he's actually come in with a big stack. Sometimes as a chip leader. I believe the 5th place he was chip leader. I think he's always comes in near the top. This time coming at the bottom, that's what he needs to do. He needs to come in from the bottom to, you know, kind of get one of those... What's that one guy? Vio, Cameo? There's someone you always talk about.
Via Condius.
Yes, yes. He needs one of those runs, and maybe that's what he's going to have to do to get that top finish here today.
Or he needs to change his avatar into a Ferrari, because that apparently brings you a lot of run good too. Alright, let's take a look at one of the hands that Daniel Dvoress had on his journey to this final table, where he came in as a short stack. And It's a lovely turn against Ami Kaibero also, or just Ami. I know you want me to call him just Ami. King 7 offsuit against Queen's King on the turn. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like, wow, so this is a... He limp called pre-flop with the King 7, seems fine. And he check calls with a little straight draw, and he turns top pair. Calls again, and rivers the straight, and, you know, Ami Bear didn't want to bet anymore. I think as played, not too much to talk about. Let's go see that final table seat switching thing. I haven't seen that in a while, Roddy.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes until the cards are supposed to go up into the virtual era, so maybe we can catch a little bit of it. You're not going to be well today, right? No, and predict Daniel Dvoress to win it all, because I know you've tried to be a little cooler over the last few weeks than you normally are, but this hasn't been working out for you at all, so let's not get that carried away, shall we?
No. So yeah, we can do a little prediction game right now, Roddy. Do I get first pick, or do you want first pick?
You can have first pick, mate.
All right, my first pick today. I think Jason Koon's going to win today. He's coming in with 1 million chips. He's only half the stack behind the top 2 guys. He's a big crusher. He's familiar with 25Ks. I think he's got the skill set to take it down. Roddy, who's your pick?
I want to go for either Matthias Eibinger or Arseniy Malinov. And I think I'm going to go for Arseniy, because I think Matthias Eibinger is great in locking up a top 3 and maybe even make it to heads up. But I believe you need some Russian courage to go all the way. So let's just go with Arseniy. Let's hope he takes it down. But I think it's very tough to predict, right? Maybe even Alex Ponakovs. I mean, he sold only 12%, so it's basically 1 full bullet. You could go far, Nana.
Yeah, it's a tricky lineup, because usually sometimes I see the lineup, I'm like, oh, I feel very confident in betting on someone to take it down. But this one, I'm not too sure, you know? Like, I love the hurry up from Jason Koon. That's pretty funny. It's just seat selection, all right? Calm down. I picked you to win it. We don't need to win it right away, Jason Koon. Yeah, Daniel Dvoress. Wow, he's only got 212,000, right? That's 7 big blinds. He's got a lot of work to cut out for him. Because even if he doubles, right, he's got half the stack of Jason Koon. He needs another double-double.
You say it's 7 big blinds? Like, can you tell me how this is 7 big blinds, Nananoko?
212 divided by 40, it's about 5 point something big. Yeah, we're close.
How did you not figure? Wait, no, 5 times 4, right? It's 20. No. You know that, right?
The 12,440 really threw me off there. You know, like, I need those straight numbers. The 100K blind level is my blind level, Roddy.
How did you win so much money in poker? I'm starting. I want to see those logs, okay? Because I don't know how this happened. If you cannot calculate 5 times 4, I don't know what's happening over here. All right. You know what I always think is funny? It's like if you come in at like 8th or 9th place to these final tables, and like you can now switch your seat, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I've got no power. You know, everybody's gonna act after me. And apparently, everyone is enjoying moving Matthias Eibinger around. But this is obviously where things get interesting, as our second biggest stack will decide to keep his seat. Seth Davies to pick the seat of Joao Vieira, or what's gonna happen here?
Probably take position. Yeah, I agree. There we go. He agrees. If you don't know who to take position on, just take position on the second place guy. Just kind of handcuffs him. We've always been saying that. Allows you to. So what happens is the second place guy will fold a little bit more pre-flop, allowing you to raise a little bit more often, pick up a few extra blinds.
I'm still laughing about your 7 big blind calculation. Like, you actually made me double. I was like, wait, what? No, like, what's happening? All right, guys, shuffle up and deal. Let's get it. The final table of our 25K High Roller Super Millions edition. Obviously, you guys can see we had 114 entries this week. And Joao Vieira is going to open things up with pocket 7s under the gun +1.
Yep, I feel like he's going to get action from Daniel Dvoress unless Reptar wants to go with the ace-10 suited. I don't really think he should with ace-10 suited. It's a final table. 10.5 big blinds, bit of an early position. I think I would wait a little bit, especially with Daniel Dvoress being with only 5 big blinds. But he's gonna go for it. So
this could be big for Daniel Dvoress if he doesn't go for it.
I don't blame him. He might get a
No,
pay
of course
jump
not.
here.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him either. This is actually kind of bad news for Reptar, right? Because obviously one of the aces is that, but
Maybe a sevens fold. Maybe it's 10 big blinds. It's early position. It looks pretty strong. He's got to hope his opponent's got. He does fold. So Reptar, look at Daniel Dvoress. He would not have folded that hand if he knew Joao Vieira was going to fold.
Yep. Well, that hand could have played out in many different ways. And that was the last one I predicted it to play out. Like sevens open with ace-10 shoving, ace-jack folding, and then sevens folding. That's pretty wild. Let's see what Jason Koon decides to do here with his ace-9 offsuit in the small blind.
Normally he should fold because, Daniel Dvoress is so short. Jason Koon, though, like, that's why I picked him to win. He's still going to go for the win. He's still going to take high plus EV situations. His read is that Arseniy is going to raise so wide into these blinds because they're just going to fold. And a nice read from Jason Koon. If he happened to bust, he happened to bust. But that's what you got to do to get those top spots.
I feel like tonight the average big blinds is way lower than what we used to have it. I mean, I know that's not supposed to be the case, but I guess Matthias Eibinger and Seth Davies just have all the chips or something. Because we have some proper short stacks coming into this final table tonight.
I kind of missed that because it kind of changes the dynamic a little bit, right? I like to see how nitty someone's going to be and how punished they're going to get, Or how about those guys getting out of line? That's always very fun to watch. In this final table, there's no clear chip leader. Seth Davies, Eibinger have the same stack. Arseniy and Alex Ponakovs actually are very close behind. So it's going to be pretty solid. It's not like, oh, this guy's got 4 or 5 million chips. He can raise anything. Everyone folds.
No, I'm with you. Matthias Eibinger showing us that he's not afraid to get involved tonight as he's opening up ace-5 suited under the gun. And we'll take it down. I will... Whose big blind got attacked last week over and over again? Was it Demi SG or was that the week before? I think that was 2 weeks ago, right? Where it just happened like...
Demi SG was the one before. Did it happen last week to Ferrari Man, though? It's possible. His Ferrari Man, I remember, was playing so tight, he knitted it up to heads up and beat Limitless.
I mean, that's something you can brag about for a long ass time, if you ask me, man. That's a good story to go to your local pub and be like, hey guys, listen to this. Okay. 3-1 underdog, or at least I'll chip 3-1. Still brought it back. Nanonoko, every single time I have gone to bed this week, I have heard your voice in my head. Roddy, can I start congratulating you now? And I'm like, damn you, Nanonoko!
Nightmares. So, Roddy, we are doing Super Millions Week. What is the next edition? Do we have anything special going on? Is it the 10th?
Yes, Nanonoko. We spoke about... No, it's not the main. We spoke about it last week over and over and over again. You've got the memory of a goldfish, mate. Next week, it's a 10 million guaranteed. So it is back to being a 10K, but I think it's a 10 million guaranteed. So that's what's special next week.
So that's the one where everyone's playing the day one flights, right? Like the multi-flight one?
Yes, that would make sense. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to get up to 10 million, I guess.
Yeah,
Unless all of a sudden we can find 1,000 sickos around the world. But
thoughts on what the first prize will... Okay, who cares about that? Pocket fives and ace kings suited. Look how many aces are dead, just telling you. And kings. 4 cards, right? 3.
But that's where the queen, jacks, and 10s roll off, though. All right, here we go. Daniel Dvoress. His tournament life is on the line. Can he hold against ace king suited? So far, he can. Ooh, gets dicey.
I don't feel good.
An ace king or a spade. Oh, there's the spade. That's brutal. Well, that's it for Daniel Dvoress. Another 9th place finish for him, unfortunately. But there wasn't much he could do coming into this final table with 7 big blinds. Just kidding, guys. It was 5 big blinds. But unfortunate for Daniel. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I just did not feel good once that turn spade rolled off. It just seemed like it was destiny to come, and there it was.
Pretty brutal indeed with how many aces and kings were out. But even if he would have gotten the double up, it's like, yeah, you're alive, but he'd basically be tied with David Coleman and Reptar. Good news for them, though. They get a pay jump. This is already the biggest cash out of Reptar's GGPoker career. As Arseniy Malinov, by the way, is picking up hands so far, Nanonoko.
I think Jason Koon is done. My guy, he's look, if he's shoving that ace, okay. Good thing Seth Davies opened. Because if Seth Davies had not opened his hand, they would have got it in blind versus blind like 100%.
Yeah,
oh, my pick is alive. My pick is alive, Roddy.
You really think 20 big blinds, pocket fives, is like just guaranteed all in, blind versus blind?
Yeah, because what's going to happen is Malinov's either going to limp, Jason Koon is just going to shove to shut him out, or he's going to raise and he's going to reshove the pocket fives, thinking you're just trying to steal me because you're the chip leader. Like, and it's Jason Koon style too, right? He's going to like read into it that way. Because if he shoved the ace nine earlier, like he's definitely going to shove the 2 5s in that spot.
Oh, so he just calls ace queen. Maybe a little worried about this being a monster pot while there are multiple short stacks.
Yep, 25K. Like, because even though he's like almost a chip leader, like these guys got to be cautious. But that's what happens. You play slow sometimes. These guys get free flops they shouldn't be getting, and they just outflop you.
King 8 takes the lead here. Not a whole lot to work with ace queen, but okay, you can actually just check. That's
sneaky. That's all right. You know, hey, if you check this flop, you can't always check without a king. If you're gonna check, you want to check your weakest kings. You know, so it plays a little bit more pot control. I like the way he's playing his king 8, and he got his opponent to get baited, called. And the 10 is it's a tricky card because Arseniy Malinov might feel obligated to fire one more bet to try to move his opponent off, say like an a7, a 7-8, pocket 8s, pocket 9s. These hands would have a lot of trouble calling a multi-barrel right now. He's got equity to clean nuts. I would like to see him fire again. I know it's not going to work, but I think he should definitely consider it.
Well, he is considering it. And then I guess the question is, will he pull through or not? And if he does bet, how much is he betting? The fact that he flat, I actually think he's going to check in, and he does check. The reason why I thought he was going to check is because he didn't 3-bet ace-queen pre-flop. And I think the reason he didn't that is because he didn't want to play a monster pot with that many short stacks around.
Roddy.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but you know what's the real reason, right? We're playing a 25K today. It's like, oh, just in case. I don't want to dust off another 300-400K. I think that's a big one.
Yeah, no, but that's where I was going with all of this. But yeah, makes sense. Now let's see if Arseniy feels very adventurous after the board pairs on the river. Is ace queen good here? He decides it's no good. Well done. I think he lost the minimum, but if he would have just put in a proper 3-bet pre-flop, oh, Reptar's got aces, but does anyone else have anything? I don't think so.
What do you got, Seth? Oh, the 10-5 offsuit. You know, it's funny is when you have this stack size, early position of aces, you're like, what size do I make it? Do I shove? Do I min raise? Man, they both look strong and it doesn't work.
Yeah, this is funny as well because this is where the entire table is like, that guy, he probably has aces. And he's like, no, I don't have aces, guys. I don't have aces. It's like, yeah, you did have aces.
That's maybe you show one ace so they don't think you have aces. They just think you got like ace 10 or something.
What are we doing with ace 9 here? Obviously, like in a small tournament, you can just be like, just jam. But in a 25K, I understand that people are a little more careful.
I think with this stack depth, limping is probably the right play. You raise, you get called, you might play a bloated pot for no reason. By limping, you know, you can get some stupid raises like the. No, I don't want to say stupid. It's the wrong word to use, but some polarized raises from the big blind against the small blind limp. And
Alex
Ponakovs 3-bet or raises Jack Deuce offsuit. Let's not forget that he did flop trip jacks with Jack Deuce earlier in the tournament.
It was suited.
Yeah, that was suited indeed. And he does get the best out of Joao Vieira for now, as he makes bottom pair.
But, you know, I like to see that Ponakovs is still playing his game despite it's being a 25K. Like, he just thinks, in the 25K, my opponent's, when he limps small blind, maybe he folds a little bit more often than normal, checks the deuce. Think with the ace 9, he's probably not going to bet. He's going to think the ace 9 has got enough showdown value. So Ponakovs just needs to dodge a ace or nine, and he's gonna scoop this pot.
Hey, Nanonoko, have you ever tried White Claw?
White Claw. What's White Claw?
Look at Seth Davies. Look at his avatar.
Oh, what is it?
It's like, I think it's a beer. It's an American beer, and people go crazy over it. It's like a whole hype or rage on Instagram, and I see people always cheering White Claw and making memes about it. And apparently it's something special, but I've never tried it, so I just wonder if you tried it.
No, I'm gonna take some notes because yeah, my brother really likes drinking beer, and he likes to find like all the weirdest those. You know how like there's so many different bottles and different brands and stuff like this. So I'm gonna go order him one and just be like, hey, cheers, mate.
I'm sure that if he is into beer, that he knows what White Claw is.
I'm gonna ask him later.
Alex Ponakov did take that one down, and Joao Vieira is probably wondering, like, really, mate? You had to raise me with Jack Deuce offsuit pre-flop. Is this really necessary? And Alex Ponakov, in full George Masvidal's fashion, said, yeah, super necessary.
Now I'm taking a look at all the other avatars. Anything else special out there? I remember Jason Koon's just got the black, just nothing. What's the worst avatar at this table by far?
Well, it looks like a planet in a way. Like, it kind of looks like a cool planet. And look at Arseniy Malinov. It's kind of funny that they're next to each other. Uh-oh, sevens versus kings. But
I don't think too much will happen, right? Like,
no,
Seth Davies will 3-bet this. Like, is he really going to defend 2 sevens and with these stack sizes? I mean, when I say these stack sizes, I mean the stack sizes of the other players at the table.
Yeah. I would probably raise like a bit bigger here as well, right? What he just calls. And it's a monotone club board. King high flush draw for Seth Davies. A set for Arseniy Malinov. Nanonoko, what the hell is his hand?
Yeah, this is it's interesting. I'm not too sure. I need to think about that pre-flop a little bit more, but let's just move on to the flop. Okay, so he's flopped very well, and obviously he's drawing terribly. Can you imagine if like just the 8 of clubs throws off, you know, one of those innocent cards?
A deuce of clubs. A 3 of clubs. Super innocent. That'd be very bad. The thing is as well, is like, he could have an ace because he's opening under the gun, but now there's 2 aces. It's like, do you really have an ace? Like, Arseniy Malinov could very well be doing this with pocket jacks and the jack of club, right? Pocket queens with the queen of clubs.
Unlikely.
Seth Davies agrees with me, Nanonoko, so shut up.
I'm glad you're trying to reach, though, and try to figure out hands that could do this. The thing is, when you're holding the king of clubs yourself, you're kind of blocking a lot of those multi-barrel cards, right? The king, queen. It's just not possible with the king of clubs. So, yeah. I think Malinov's going to go for a big bet, maybe like a 700K, 800K looks like. Yeah, these two kings. It's tricky.
I think you gotta fold, right? Like it sucks
agree.
to fold kings, but like at this point you do really have to reach. Like, what do I still beat? Like, what do I beat that bets 700K? Good fold there by Seth Davies, but that could have all been prevented if you would have just played his kings a bit more aggressive pre-flop.
Yeah, it was very weird. That's what I want to kind of touch base on, right? Like, so he just flatted in the big blind against the undergun open. I would say they had the same stack, but both kind of chip leader stack, right? The 2.2 million. I feel like it's a combination of not getting it in pre-flop, one, which is weird because 2 kings is obviously crushing. And also a little bit of, I expect my phone to fold to my 3-bet with everything but premiums. I don't know, just that's funny because like the other day I did the APL main event final table and there was like a number 1 2 stack and the number 2 guy also flatted kings and the guy bluffed him off it, right? Like, it's just these nits sometimes. I know it's a 25K, but come on, Roddy, you would 3-bet there, right? Like,
yeah,
you would.
Well, I'm not good at poker, but yes, Nanonoko, I would 3-bet kings in the big blind, especially when the under the gun razor is also one of the biggest stacks, which is a little bit scary. But on the other end, you've got kings, okay? Like, he should be scared of you, not the other way around. So you shouldn't be too scared to play a big pot anyway when you have kings.
Yeah, I feel like with kings, you should be 3-betting that one. But like, say you had ace king, two queens where you get
Different.
those in pre-flop, it's a kind of a disaster. You don't accidentally fold those hands. I can get behind that a bit more. But two kings is like, look, you 3-bet that spot. Your opponent has ace king. He's not going to fold to your 3-bet, right? If he's got two queens or two jacks, he's not going to fold to you. He'll probably at least see a flop. So I don't know.
There's
it's
only one bad
interesting.
scenario, and that's aces. Like that's the
Yeah.
only. And the thing as well is that, like, yes, it's a 25K final table, but Arseniy is obviously a pretty aggressive player by nature, and he's got the chips right now to be aggressive. So I don't want to say he's opening super wide, but he's obviously going to open a little bit wider to put some pressure on the short stacks that are clearly trying to get some pay jumps, right?
Yeah, and like for me, let's just say I'm doing final table betting, Roddy, right? We gotta choose the winner, of course, right? We don't need to choose the guy who got second, third, fourth, right? Whenever I see someone makes play like that, they immediately go on my list of never do final table betting on them, like because they understand ICM too much for me sometimes, so that's just such a big weird play in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see what just happened? He just folded Jack 8 offsuit in the small blind. And obviously Jack 8 offsuit is not like a monster or something. But this all goes back to Alex Ponakovs raising Jack Deuce offsuit before, right? Now Joao Vieira is like, I can't play nice poker with you, just have it. Like, I'll get you down the line. And now Alex Ponakovs just got a walk on 10 deuce.
He's probably just going to jam this ace queen too, just stop Ponakovs from potentially re-jamming a hand, forcing it all in where he has to call off. He'd rather shut out the situation so that, well, he's still going to raise. I thought he was going to just jam it because there's two guys with 7 big blinds, right? Like, you don't want to actually get it all in with the ace queen against like pocket sevens or something. Let's see, we got a potential situation here. Nah, I don't think there's going to be much happening. Oh, 2 deuces just open muck. You saw that?
Yeah. I mean, there are many situations where we would say that you should jam this, right? And he does jam it, and he gets called immediately by the pocket jacks of Matthias Eibinger. I'm hoping for a king. Give the man a king. There's a king. Obviously, that's that's a couple of additional outs all of a sudden. Yeah. Oh, that's a flush. King high flush for Reptar anyway.
but Eibinger made a straight. Isn't that important at all?
Yeah. For some people it is. It's like, at least you made a straight. And oh, wow, he's getting ace. Alex Ponakovs with ace jack. If Joao Vieira doesn't open, Alex Ponakovs will absolutely open. Look at Reptar go. He's our sleeper pick for the night, Nanonoko. Ferrari Man 2.0.
I think Joao might fold this king jack, right? Like, I think he's gonna limp. All right, so he's found an option to kind of get involved but not too involved, right? So I think that's gonna make Ponakovs actually make a pretty big raise with ace jack. Put some pressure.
Reptar is like, he's loving this. Every second that goes by, he's like, yes, Alex Ponakovs.
You know, the funny thing is, Reptar right now, he's thinking, oh man, this guy limp. Like, what do I raise small? Do I raise big? Like, what do I do with 2 aces in? And when he sees the isolation here, he's like, oh, now my hand's easy to play.
Yep. Well, Reptar is going to take a couple seconds of his time back. He's like, guys, I really don't have aces again. Like, you guys know me. I don't just play aces. You guys saw me just jamming king 8 offsuit. It's like, yeah, but that was from the small blind. And Reptar running it up. All of a sudden, he's sitting at 1.1 million now.
Reptar was a successful short stack, unlike Daniel Dvoress, right? Because I think Reptar was 33-1 or something very close to that. Hey, pocket fours folded, Roddy. You didn't say anything.
Matthias Eibinger had a 4. I'll forgive him.
Okay.
I'll forgive him. I did see it. You're right. Reptar was 33-1 actually in final table betting. Not via Condia's levels. That was 45-1, I believe. But that's a lot. And what is he right now? Like 14 chips? 5th.
You know, the funniest part is Reptar is the guy who plays the 150 GG Masters, the 300. Oh, snap call, king queen.
Wow. 5-7, snap call with king queen. Can king queen hold? Yes, it can. Sometimes it runs out to a straight though. There's the 9. No 10. With a 10, we would chop it. That'd be brutal, but that's not a 10. So this means a full double for Jason Koon. Nanonoko. I'm gonna be you. Did you pick a winner this week, Nanonoko?
I did. I definitely did. You can see how fast. Do you saw how fast he snap called there? He didn't even consider
Yeah.
the fact that David Coleman's got is so short and will bust right away. Like that's the thing we talk about. Okay, okay, that's scary to my last hand.
Yeah.
We do talk about pay jumps a lot, Roddy, ICM and stuff like that. But you know what? It's the top spots that really matter. Jason Koon knows
I
that, so
agree.
he's like, one buy and pay jump while it's good, it's not as important as putting myself in a position to get a top 3 spots where the pay jumps are like 5 bullets and stuff like that.
No, I totally agree. I love it. That was an 0.1 second snap call. Didn't think about it for it. Like he already had it all along in his mind. If it goes to the small blind and you jam, I'm calling. Like I don't care about anything else, and I love it. We've got Ace Queen opening it up under the gun, and Joao Vieira called in the big blind with Ace 10. Neither player flops anything.
Well, you got $30 on Joao Vera, and right now he's getting decimated. He's grinding downwards.
I'm aware of that, Nanonoko. But so was Ferrari Man last week, so I'm not counting anyone out.
Hey, but your $30 on the other side, Jason Goon is doing a lot better with that call. It's like two different styles of players, right? Like just very drastic.
Yep. I went for a safe player and one that's clearly playing for at least a win, if not top 2. Matthias Eibinger obviously lost a couple chips with his jacks. That was a bit unfortunate for him. But he's still sitting on 2 mil, so he's not doing too bad.
What's a little bit interesting is that despite losing one guide, it's actually been a lot of kind of like big all-ins and stuff like that. No one's a clear chip leader still. It's actually the top stack has gone down, right? Like our chip leader had 2.4 million. No one had the chip leader is actually Eibinger with 2,085,000.
So we didn't do the roll back the blinds thing this week, right? Because even the chip leaders have like 40 big blinds. And I'm
I don't know.
wondering, no, we didn't do. There's no way that this is an average of 40 big blinds.
Math is not my strong point, Roddy. You got to forgive me.
Let me just tell you, it's not. And I wonder if that like was done on purpose or if it has something to do with the amount of entries. As David Coleman goes all in, Joao Vieira made. I know you've been passive, but ace 10 suited against 7 big blinds. Nano, we are jamming this, right? Come on.
You know the Elky? Just one time he's got the little finger that goes up. That's what you're doing with the ace 10 of clubs.
Well, Joao Vieira is in really good shape here against David Coleman. Oh, there is a 4, but there is a 10 too. Well, 4s are good, Malinov, but they can't be that good.
If you can hit 1, it's too greedy to hit 2.
Yep, unfortunate. Did make a pair, but the pair of Joao Vieira is better, and that means we're down to 7. So yes, Nano, I'm going to continue my story. Shout out to David Coleman. He walks away with $98,000. No way we rolled it back. It could be because of the amount of entries, because we only had 114 entries, obviously it being a 25K and everything. And I think you need a certain amount of players for that whole thing to happen, where we roll back the blinds and stuff like that.
You know what? Why don't we just have one of the production guys look it up for us and tell us, like, this was too hard of a question for me.
Okay, I understand it's like, obviously you don't know the reason why, but I'll guarantee you this is not average 40 big blinds.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the reasoning is.
Yeah. All right, moving on as we have Jason Koon flopping a pair of aces, but he checks it, Nanonoko.
Yeah, no, I like the check with the ace deuce. Your kicker doesn't do anything. There's a flush draw on the board too, where maybe they go crazy, they check raise you, now you're not sure what to do. As played, maybe you throw in a little bet now. He is going to check one more time. Play the board.
Matthias Eibinger may think that the board is good here, right? It's a pretty good board.
Just keep checking. If you don't think you're going to get called by the board, then there's no value in betting the ace deuce there.
I would have bet one big blind.
Yeah, have you ever bet like go for those thin value bets? You bet very small, and all of a sudden the guy check raises, and you're like, "What did I do?" He just makes it like 1 million. Like that's a disaster.
Of course, I've been there, Nanonoko, but you know, very often you get paid off though, and it's like, hey, a penny saved is a penny earned, Nano, and those big blinds don't come easy.
I agree.
Not the greatest flop for Mr. Davies. 3 overs. He does have 1 diamond. I know there is a backdoor on the board now, but that's a pretty bad flop for 6-3 of diamonds.
Yeah, man, it's funny because when I was doing the APL commentary with Lynn, she would only see backdoors in the craziest spots. Whether it was a backdoor straight draw, like it was the worst backdoor ever, or like I was like, how do you see these things? But I'm glad you're in line with realizing there's some bad backdoors in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched all of that. I thought it was a fun dynamic. Especially, I mean,
Ooh.
obviously the highlight. Oh, this could be a big one. Ace queen of spades, pocket jacks again, another ace queen, but this time offsuit. I don't know what's gonna happen, Nano, but a couple chips will be sent towards the middle.
A lot of crazy things can happen depending on which players are involved. I imagine Eibinger is going to 3-bet. Davies, you know, if he reads, okay, I think he's gonna. I think Davies is gonna shove. I don't know what's gonna happen, Roddy, but in general, I would like to see Davies go for a shove. He could just 3-bet too.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of fold equity with this hand. I like shoving a little bit more. He's gonna
Shoving
go 3-bet.
is a bit excessive though. That's over 30 big blinds.
Yeah.
Final table over 25k. Ace queen
But
offsuit.
you gotta re-raise it, right? You just can't smooth call here. But by just 3-betting here, now he's opened the door for Ponakovs to potentially shove. Eibinger, I guess, would fold, and Davies fold. Man, that'd be a big win, right? If he just jams his ace queen suited.
Yep, if ace queen jams here, I think you're right. I think then it's fold. But if he calls, then I really wonder what Eibinger does. Like, I'm not folding jacks pre-flop. He calls, all right. I jam? I would not. This is a jam, I think. Like, I wouldn't mind to see him jam here. If they have it, they have it.
I agree. I would love to see a jam. That smooth call from Ponakovs looks kind of marginal. Like, it looks like it would fold to a shove. I'd just be worried about the squeeze, but we know Seth Davies is, you know, he's obviously a player who's capable of squeeze bluffing. And you're ahead of ace king, right? This has got to be a slam dunk shove. But, you know, Eibinger, and you look around the other stacks. There's no tiny stack out there, so it makes the jam a little bit easier.
No, I was about to say, don't pull a Chris Fitzgerald on us, Eibinger. Don't do a Chris Fitzgerald. But he did it, Nanonoko. He went full Chris Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Part of me thought that Eibinger was going to fold just because of his play style a little bit. Jason Koon would not be folding those 2 jacks. I'll tell you that, Roddy. He would not in a million years.
I think there are many players that we have seen at these final tables that wouldn't be folding the jacks there. You know what I told you before. I always love that line of Doc Polk in one of his videos where he's like, "It's a cold day in hell before I fold pocket jacks pre-flop at a final table." I like that line, and it stuck with me. And I did it once myself, and I was wrong. Like, they had fucking ace 10 and 9s or something, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I'm the biggest dunk on this planet." And that's the only time I ever folded jacks pre-flop.
Interesting hand brewing up, actually. So the squeeze went check on this kind of a nasty board, right, for the ace queen. Ponakovs doesn't have anything. Puts a quarter pot in there, gets called. I wonder if someone's going to be able to potentially steal this, or is this going to go check, check, and then Eibinger just punches the screen?
He will probably give us a so sick. If this goes check, check, and then check, check on the river, I think Eibinger will give us a so sick.
Ponakovs kind of wondering, how did he have so many chips in his pot of just ace queen high? He's thinking about how often his opponent has a hand like ace king. Because the ace king probably would call quarter pet on the flop, but probably wouldn't call any more bets on the turn. But if he's up against a big, this is
I love it.
It looks strong, right? It looks so strong.
Because, like, basically Seth Davies will also feel that if he calls now, that like a bet will be coming on the river. So you have to make your decision here. It's not about call and let's see what happens on the river. Like, this is it. Like, you're all in or you fold pretty much. And Alex Ponakov takes it down with ace queen. That's a really good bet on the turn, man. Well done.
Amazing.
Now he gets kings.
And plus the thing, let's just say he had like a big combo draw, right? He probably just ships in on turn. So the fact that he bets smaller looks so value heavy, like he's got a set or like some slow played aces or something. Like, that was just a beautiful play. Like, Look, that hand looked like it wasn't going to be too fun. It turned out to be really fun.
What also turned out to be is that Seth Davies is having a pretty rough time at his final table so far. He came in as chip leader with what Seth was 74 big blinds, but I don't know if it was that many in the beginning, but he had 2.2 million chips. He's below 1 million now, Nano.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. I feel like some of the hands though, he kind of did it to himself, potentially like the 2 kings, right? Like he didn't have to lose chips in that one to blind down a little bit. The ace queen here, he had 30 big blinds. I don't think he played it poorly by 3-betting pre-flop, but you know, maybe he jammed pre-flop and things would have changed. Like, there's just so many different scenarios that could have happened. But right now he's just ice cold.
Alex Ponakov on the other end is ultra hot, even though he did just get a walk on ace-king suited. He gets ace-king again against the ace-queen of Seth Davies. Have you seen the hands that Alex Ponakov has been getting? 4 orbits in a row now, Nanonoko. Like ace-queen suited, kings, ace-king, ace-king. Like, hello.
He's definitely running very hot right now, but he's playing great. For a guy who likes to sell action too, like he's playing fearless, right? He raised that Jack Deuce earlier versus the limp. Like this is a winning formula right now.
We're jamming, and Seth Davies is just having an absolutely horrific time at his final table with ace queen suited. Do you want to fold ace queen suited against the chip leader? He does not, and he will get the bad news that he's gonna need diamonds or queens.
Wow.
Nanonoko. Okay, diamonds. Chop up 10 or a deuce, and we chop. A diamond, we win it. A queen, we win it. That's a diamond. That is a diamond. And Seth Davies is back to 2 million chips. I mean, I would have felt so bad for him if he would have gone out in 7th place. So let him have it, Nano.
I don't know. You got to feel for Ponakovs there, right? He would have 4 million chips, a hammerlock just shipping this tournament.
Yeah, he would have been in great shape to potentially win it all. I do believe we have another free roll coming up in 10 minutes. So a little bit of shilling time. The password is... I don't think it's Nanonoko. That sounds unlikely. That was our password last week. I do know our password. Our password is just millions, guys. So in 10 minutes, we have a free roll starting. We're giving away 10 $5 Bounty Hunters mini main tickets. So Bounty Hunters are always fun. Just head over to the free roll section at GGPoker and type in the password millions. Good luck.
Brutal. That's so brutal, Roddy. Like Ponakovs is just... I know Seth Davies maybe doesn't deserve to go out so quickly, gets to come with a big stack, but like I feel like when you play 2 kings a little passive, maybe it's not. Maybe you do deserve to go out a little bit quicker than normal.
It's brutal, but there is a long way to go. And I mean, then again, how many good hands can one man really get in a row, Nanonoko? You know, you have to lose some of them. You're not supposed to get ace queen suited, kings, ace king, and ace king in a row at the final table of a 25K. Like, that's a little too much. What are we doing with ace 3 here in the small blind?
Probably limping is what I'm gonna guess. You know, with that, oh, he's gonna raise, but with that pot going to Seth Davies, we still have the same scenario where everyone has the same stack. Look at how many guys have like 1.8 million. It's pretty crazy. It's what? How many people are this? 7 people. 5 of them have it, right? And the short stacks aren't that short.
Nope. They really aren't. I mean, everyone is between 1 and 2 million. That's an easier way to summon this up. So everyone is within 20 big blinds from each other. And that's pretty cool.
This is like a flip and go stack. Everyone's got the same thing.
Did you see that picture that Easterdams, one of the members of the GG squad, posted out? That in a flip and go, it was heads up between him and another dude, and both of them got dealt a straight flush. So like it's obviously only a 3-card straight flush, but that's pretty sick. So they both got a massive bonus. I don't know who won the actual battle between them, but whoever that was comes in with 1 million big blinds compared to the rest of the people that made it into the money at the flip and go.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Easterdams didn't win that flip and go. He had like a 2 big blind stack to come back from.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Okay, look at this. 10-9 suited against the king queen. Tough hand.
even if you have 2 big blinds, if you get a straight flush, you get your initial starting stack ×3. So, or not
True.
×4 or 5. That's pretty good.
It's always good to hit a straight flush. Nice pot for Malinov. Hey, he's the chip leader. I mean, can we really say he's the chip leader? It doesn't feel right to say when you got only 2 big blinds more than someone else and less than whatever the chip leader started the final table with.
That is true as well. Good point. How often does that happen, right? That the chip leader has less chips 48 minutes or 38 minutes into play than what our chip leader started the final table with. Not super often. Ace 10 of hearts against Ace 8. Alex Ponakovs. He's showing some discipline. He's not upset that he lost some chips, and he's not going to start playing Ace 8 offsuit all of a sudden.
He's a new man now. He's okay.
Ooh.
Ace, queen, and 2 9s. These are gonna go to war. They have to.
I don't think yeah, but if I'm Reptar here, right? I'm not necessarily willing to jam it here. Like I'm willing to call.
Nah.
And
I'm
see
the
if I
shortest stack. I'm the shortest stack, Roddy. Just ship it in.
Yeah.
Hopefully just take it down.
I know that's what you're
hard
supposed to
hand
do,
play.
Nano. I
It's a hard
agree.
hand to play.
That is what you're supposed to do. But if you normally play $300 tournaments, well, he's gonna do what you're supposed to do. Let's see if the 9s hold against ace queen. Okay, so far they do. A 4 or a 5 for a sweat? Nope. Oh, that's a scary river card, but ace queen. That is safe. It is safe. He even makes a bolt. Nobody cares about that. The 9s hold. Wow. All right. And now
Chip
Jason
leader.
Koon is actually our short stack. And Reptar is our chip leader.
With 2 million chips, which is
Wow.
hilarious.
Wow. I mean, running good, but yeah, making the correct choices and not afraid, right? Like I have to admit, if I would play a tournament that's way bigger than what I normally play, I'd be a bit scared. Like I would definitely go all in with the 9s on that flop, 3-3-2s. I don't know if I would necessarily always jam when I'm closing the action, but well done. Did the right thing and got rewarded.
Yep. I feel like if you don't normally play this big, like going for the pre-flop easy slam dunk plays is just the safest way to play. You start slow playing these hands, you start accidentally folding the best hand when it comes queen 10 something, and your opponent has ace jack. Who knows? Like these things happen. You slow play 2 kings pre-flop, the guy hits a set. You know, like just avoid these things. Don't second guess yourself.
All right, all right. It's pretty fair, but I also think it's still easier said than done. But yeah, Reptar is doing it.
If he had 2 5s, though, you know, I understand what you're saying, Roddy. Like, let's just see a flop try to hit a set because it's not that strong.
If he had 2 4s, he could definitely slow play. I mean, that's a monster.
Hit the set, let your opponent catch up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't push your opponent away when you have a set pre-flop. That'd be crazy. All right, guys. Ace 9 of diamonds, raising it up. Arseniy gets out of the way. Jason Koon in a bit of trouble now, Nanonoko. I mean, I don't know how many big blinds you think he has, but let me just tell you that it's not that many. And ace queen offsuit is probably going to get it all in here, and it should look good.
Yeah, someone's going to get it all in with him. Yeah.
8 big blind shove. Matthias Eibinger with a suited ace. Ooh. That's
He
close,
made it
right?
a little bit bigger too, if you notice, so he's a
Yeah.
little bit more priced in the call, which is kind of annoying.
And 2 of the hearts are dead, as Arseniy Malinov has jack 5 of hearts. Yeah, I don't think you love it if you're Matthias Eibinger, but I think you have to call. Oh, what? Well, Jason Koon will still call though, right? As short as stack. Come on.
The reason also too is when big stack 3-bets big stack, they're very polarized, because if they're slow playing 2 kings or 2 ace queens pre-flop, that means they're very polarized. You can get in really good with the ace queen.
And now we can fold. Yeah,
five
Matthias
suited.
can just fold. And Arseniy, this is where you use WAP. Where you're like, well, oh my god, and he outflops Jason Koon. We need an ace or a queen. An ace or a queen. This would be a brutal way to go out, Nanonoko. Come on.
Done. Brutalized.
And you know, the sickest thing is that he would have beat the ace-6. I mean, that's just, I'm going to say that this was a little bit silly. All right, well, that's very, very brutal for Jason Koon. He will be eliminated in 7th place. Walks away with, I believe, a little over $100,000. And Arseniy Malinov should just, that's one of these moments. If this was live poker, Nanonoko, You just rack those chips and you don't look up. You don't look around the table and you don't make eye contact with anyone, okay?
But someone always breaks the ice eventually, right? They go, lucky hand.
Yeah, there's always like, it's the guy next to you is like, well, it's not a bad run out, eh? And you're like, oh yeah. And then people justify their play immediately. It's like, well, he's been opening pretty wide, and
Yeah. Well, my pick's gone, Roddy. My pick is gone, and your pick is going up to the top.
Yep, but my $30 is also gone, and that kind of sucks. But hey, at least it's only 30. Yeah, no, Arseniy Malinov, he's running good and playing all right. He's definitely not afraid. Like, I do think we always have to give kudos and compliments to the guys that are willing to get involved, and yeah, sometimes you get a little lucky.
So we finally got that clear chip leader. I think that changes the dynamic a lot. I think Malinov, if he can just raise a bit more, he could potentially run away with it if he can get to the 4 million chip stack sooner than later. Ponakovs. He wants a 3-bet? Okay.
He's not believing. Ace-10 will obviously at least tag along, and that's what it's going to be, but Arseniy Malinov flops mid-pair with a pair of 4s, Nanonoko. Impressive.
I mean, look, when you got a big stack, you get to see flops a lot more often. You get to see turns and rivers. You're going to realize your equity of your hands, because hands like Ace-10, they don't want to 3-bet you, especially if you got a big stack. Nice, just as clean. Unless a king rolls off, that would be the disaster of all cards.
Yep. King would be the absolute worst card for Arseniy Malinov. Everything else, I mean, obviously he's going to lose against an ace or a 10, but I have the feeling he's going to be fine now, no? He might even just bet again.
Yeah, he's thinking about betting again. He's going to check.
Matthias Eibinger will know that his hand is no good. So he's going to have to bet if he wants to win it, but it's so risky.
Yeah, Eibinger's thinking how often his opponent has a queen. He thinks his opponent would bet a queen on the turn a lot, so he's turning his hand into a bluff. It's a beautiful play. It should work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Arseniy makes this call, that'd be ridiculous.
It'd be so sick. Like, really.
Yeah.
So Malinov, he's put his opponent on a queen or nothing, of course, but with no flush draw on the flop, it's hard to make this call, right? Because now you only beat like the 5-6, the 3-5, the ace-3 or ace-5 that wants to turn his hand into a bluff. Because sometimes these ace-highs want to just check it down, You got to take that into consideration. So this would be one hell of a call, Roddy, pretty much.
And on top of that, it's pretty obvious. I think that Arseniy thinks that Arseniy thinks that Eibinger doesn't want to play like massive pots if he doesn't have to. That's probably why he 3-bet in with the Jack-5 of hearts. So it's a bit maybe out of character almost for Eibinger to make this bet as a bluff. But Arseniy is really trying to figure this one out. If he makes this call, Nano, standing ovation, but he does not. Good move by Matthias Eibinger, though. That's actually awesome. That's high-level poker right there.
Very, very high level.
And he's got a set the following hand.
he's gonna fold though. That's the thing. I think Ponakovs gonna open. Okay, never mind. He's gonna think Seth Davies is out to the pocket 4s. That's what I'm calling. King 10-4.
You really think that Eibinger would fold a set pre-flop? Why would he ever do that, Nanonaka?
He would have. He would have if someone opened.
Nobody.
I'm not saying he should.
Pre-flop.
Not saying he should.
Damn it. But you know what? You know what we say. The pocket 4s always make a set unless they don't need to make a set to win the hand. Okay. And at this point, the pocket 4s are still good. You gotta love that card, right? With your 4s.
Yeah, I think he should start betting though, because his hand is vulnerable to getting counterfeited.
Mm-hmm. A 6 would be bad. The nice thing is that there is a deuce on the board, so obviously another deuce wouldn't be that bad. Seth Davies makes the call and actually turns a pair of 10s, or excuse me, rivers a pair of 10s. The 4s. You know what it is, Nano? The pocket 4s, it's the best hand in poker. But not at the final table with the high roller super millions. It's all about pocket threes for our final table. That's what I've noticed. Pocket fours, they don't deliver.
Pocket aces always delivers, though. They seem to always hold on this 10K Super Millions. Okay, value bet coming. I know you're thinking about it, Roddy. Like, I've seen some people get coolered out with.
Yeah. Pretty sure
All
we've
right.
seen some brutal hands with aces too. Good bet there by Seth Davies, because obviously could be a bluff, right?
Yeah, 2 hearts. Very, very likely. Like, if you're sitting there with the 7, 8 of hearts, 8, 9 of hearts, like, you're going to feel obligated to bluff at it. So Eibinger's thinking his opponent has a jack or nothing, right? It's not true. He actually has a 10, but...
I think he'll
Yeah.
probably think of a 10, though. Like, why would a 10 be impossible?
That's not impossible, but I think what Eibinger's actually thinking about is, okay, you check back the flop. That means the likelihood of you having a jack goes way down, which is probably true. A jack probably would throw in a little min bet on the flop. Does make the correct fold, but it's definitely not an easy fold to make.
Matthias Eibinger is playing really well. Let's not forget that he got, set up a little bit when he had the jacks and he lost against King 8, or just got sucked out on, rather. If that didn't happen, he would have way more chips, and he's playing mighty fine poker so far tonight.
What about the 2 jacks he folded against the ace, queen, ace, queen?
Yeah, that one was full Chris Fitzgerald. That was maybe nothing. Forgot about that. I forgot. I was only thinking of the other jacks.
Roddy, we haven't seen Chris Fitzgerald. I think he quit playing ever since we made fun of him. He was just like, I'm done with this.
You made fun of him. I definitely did not make fun of him. I wouldn't dare. I would not dare. I know my place in the world of poker and Ponakovs, and it's like way below there. I would never make fun of Chris Fitzgerald. You went pretty hard.
He quit. I'm pretty sure he quit playing the Super Millions. He's like, I've had enough of these commentators, these YouTube chat, Twitch chat, whatever out there. I'm not taking it no more. Taking my winnings. He was actually a pretty profitable player, actually, in our Super Millions.
Yeah, I know he was doing good. He just did things in his own way, and you could not get behind it. But yeah. Well, GGPoker is not going to be happy with you, Nana. All right, Ace 8. Matthias Eibinger opening things up. See what Arseniy Malinov decides to do with King 9 offsuit. It's not a great hand, but if you feel that Eibinger is opening up loose, you can make a play. He decides to not do it. Other than the jack's fault, Matthias Eibinger has played great. Okay.
You gotta remember, Malinov's thinking, look, I showed down the Jack 5 suited. Like, I gotta calm down a little bit before I punish Eibinger again. Yeah. I'm thinking you know what I'm thinking? A Reptar final heads up. I feel like he's gonna get to the heads up for some reason.
I think it's Arseniy Malinov, Alex Ponakovs, or Matthias Eibinger. One of those 3.
No, Reptar. Ferrari Man did it last week. It's got to be the unknown guy. Look at this, King 5.
It's not even suited. It's not even suited. I actually think I would call here from Alex Ponakovs. I like that hand.
Size is a bit small too. It's not even a full 3x, so he gets a nice price. Unfortunately, nothing. No. Literally.
Not even a backdoor.
Not even. That's very hard to do in this game. Like, you always have a backdoor.
Yeah, there should be a little reward for that. It's like, well, you flopped yourself dead. Obviously, he could have made runner pair. That's about it. Now he is officially drawing that. But
he's not going to win this pot. Like, it seems reckless for him to just start betting, but I don't know. This favors a pre-flop raise. Why, he's actually going to bet? I'm surprised.
I'm with you. I think that's a bit out too. Reptar will probably make one call. If he would bet big again on the river, and the river is a random card, like that is pretty random.
It's a bad card though, because it.
Yeah.
There's kicker problem stuff that they don't have to worry about anymore. Like, say he's got like an ace deuce Reptar, right? He's not sure if he should call big bet. Like, a lot of guys don't follow through here. Ponakovs, his opponent has like a little pair or like a king. I think a king at this point after it calls the turn. So maybe he fires a half pot bet and just steals the pot.
I mean, if you're betting that turn, it almost feels like you got to go all the way, but he will give up. Reptar will, I think, gladly check this back. He's like, all right, that's a pretty decent pot. 687,000 chippies heading his way. And he is now once again second in chips as Alex Ponakovs hits us with the bad beat. Couple of decent hands here, Nana. Nothing fantastic, but...
Everyone's going to fold, Roddy. I know, we see all these playable hands, but no one wants to play them. Unless Ponakovs is on tilt and wants to go up to ace-5 suited.
We've seen people 3-bet these kinds of aces before.
Ace-5 is the best kind of like 3-bet bluffing type hand for these hands. They just tend to do it. He's actually going to 3-bet jam practically.
Yeah.
Leave the 450. It's a big jam, actually. It's 23, 22 big blinds.
It's a lot. It's more than that even, Nano. No, not. Never mind. I cannot count. This time I cannot count.
We both have some troubles in this game.
Yeah. No, you were pretty close. Joao Vieira, I gotta say, mate, I don't want to put you on my blacklist of final table betting that currently has Lina 900, but jeez Louise, are we playing to win this or are we playing for a top 5?
Maybe the final table bettors were onto something, right? There's only $700 of betting on him. Even Reptar had 2x that amount. Yeah. Roddy, I don't know if that $30 is going to turn into something for you. Are you going to retire again next week?
No, next week we'll go bigger, mate. Just need limitless back, okay?
Oh, he folded pocket fours under the gun, Joao Vieira.
All right, he's dead to me. I'm just kidding, Joao Vieira. I respect you.
Joao Vieira's on tilt. He's like, these commentators, man, they just keep talking about pocket fours. Talking shit about me when I'm clearly the better player than both of these guys combined, which is true. He is. Just having a little fun.
I mean, there's the 4, by the way, Nanonoko. Joao Vieira, I hope you're taking notes.
We're back.
When we are combining our skill, we're basically just talking about your skill anyway, you know. So it's basically you versus Joao Vieira. I don't add anything.
Yeah, he crushes me for sure in this tournament stuff. Let's see. There's gotta be someone out there I'm better at that reached this final table. I don't know who. Someone. I don't know.
Holiday Inn.
But Holiday Inn got a second place. I don't think I can ever do that. But here we go.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for our pre-show in the first hour of action. Obviously, it's been very explosive because we have way less big blinds than we normally do. We're going to take a quick break. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done this yet, because this Friday, it's going to happen, guys. Fedor holds versus Limitless. It's going to be sick. I can't wait. For now, enjoy these promo videos, and we'll see you in 4 minutes.
The GGPoker Wildcard Cam.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Wildcard Cam, where Nanonoko and I will do our best to predict the hand of our villain, as we are taking a look at a heads-up battle between Pluto the Doggo and Pascal Hartman. Nano, Pascal Hartman is a tough one to predict.
I mean, he's a really solid player. He is limping here pre-flop, so I think all 4 of these hands are very possible. But what is Pluto doing with Jack 5 offsuit?
He's doing Pluto the Doggo things. The flop is 9-deuce-3 with 2 hearts. What would Pascal Hartman limp? I feel like Jack 10, we could raise it up. Queen 8, we raise it up. I'm feeling King 6 suited. That's what I'm feeling.
Queen 9's my pick, hand number D.
Alright, well, I'm feeling B. Let's take a look what Pascal Hartman decides to do on the flop. Just makes the call. 7 of diamonds rolls off. Nano's going hand D. I'm going hand B. Let's see what it is.
Pluto the Doggo is betting again with just Jack 5 high. Okay. I would say both of our choices are pretty live.
King 6 suited's gonna make the call here. If not, just get it all in and be a little yellow. The flush does complete on the river. Pluto the Doggo does make a pair of 5s, but nobody really cares about that. We want to know what Pascal Hartman has. Pascal goes for the all-in. Pluto the Doggo. Oh, he's gonna have to let this one go.
I accepted this match because
I can offer also playing drunk. Like I can drink on the stream, like I drink like whole bottle of wine.
I love the challenge, and
I can play Fedor heads up any stakes you want. It's actually a deal.
I cannot wait to take this guy's money.
Fedor's an outstanding poker player.
He's just been winning tournament after tournament.
Whose name you might know from online. His username is Limitless. His real name is Viktor Malinowski.
If I focus fully on one thing, then it becomes better.
Yeah, don't even try.
I'm pretty confident in my game and ability. Playing on the highest level against the best in the world, it's always been a love of mine.
I crush everything in life. I'm just built that way, that I just like competition, I like tough matches, and I just enjoy the game.
Fedor Holtz is the champion, your EPT 13 Barcelona Super High Roller champion. Fedor Holtz!
When I started actually playing with them, I noticed that, oh, actually everyone is beatable, so...
The lowest stakes now to the highest stakes. Tell me about when you first started grinding online.
You started fucking free rolls.
Yeah. I never deposited, yes.
I'm ready to take you on.
Now I can just enjoy, drink.
Better don't drink too much while playing.
In terms of win rate, I think like 20 BB should be fine.
I think he's gonna be the favorite coming in, but I'm very lucky. I'm gonna motherfucking destroy you.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my god.
Michael Adamo is the best.
All right. I literally got back 1 second ago, guys, but welcome back to our second hour of the High Roller Super Millions, the 25K buy-in, where we are down to 6.
Alrighty. 7-6 suited. Let's flop a straight flush. No, I guess it's hard. The 9 of hearts is dead. Never mind.
I mean, could be 8-5-4.
Yeah, could be.
5-4-3. Come
But
on,
how about
then,
this? Let's at least flop a backdoor. Let's not get those ace king threes, okay? Ace king three is a backdoor, actually, huh?
I would jam this because Joao Vieira has been super tight. And Arseniy Malinov agrees.
All right. Roddy, who's out next? You thinking Joao Vieira's not playing a hand, so who's out next?
I still think it's Joao Vieira because this is always what happens when you're super tight and you try to make some pay jumps and then you do finally get a good hand. I actually had this a while ago, and one tournament I was like, you know what? I'm playing like a baboon all the time, so I played super conservative, and then you get kings and you get snap called by ace-7 and there's an ace in the flop, and that's it. So I actually think it's going to be Joao Vieira.
Well, do you think he should jam his queen-9 suited on the button? He's got 11 big blinds.
I think he should because he's been super tight, so it's very unlikely that they are willing to call him light.
There we go. He agrees.
That's a good play. That gives me some hope for Joao Vieira.
It's like your $30 is back to life a little bit.
Yeah, it's like if this was a cryptocurrency, it now is worth $7, you know, but it was worth $4 at the beginning of the day, so we're still breathing.
Actually, Arseniy just folded pocket threes. That's a set maker on our Super Millions.
Yes, it is. We don't have those stats, guys, but if there's one thing I'm sure of is that pocket threes made more sets than, well, pocket fours is still kind of delivering. The problem is they never play them when they should.
I know.
I mean, we had
We don't see as many flops as we should, right?
Yeah. And we had Ben CB folding quads, so. Well, he's raising. But I don't think he would fold to a 3-bet, right? With ace-queen
No.
suited, you're the shortest stack. Like, you can't fold that.
He's trying to get some action. He's going to get a little bit of action from Seth Davies, I think.
8-7 is not a bad hand to see a flop with, though. So I do expect that one extra big blind to be committed. It's not a good flop for Seth Davies. It's a pretty damn sweet flop for Joao Vieira.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for when you raise the ace-queen, right? Get a little. You hope your opponent has like a 10-9, maybe a queen-jack, a queen-10, some kind of middling type hand.
Jack-10 be a little scary, but it's like whatever. Doesn't get much better than this for ace-queen. So Joao Vieira wins back-to-back hands at the start of the second hour. And that's good to see. I have the feeling it's not going to be a long night for us, Nanonoko. Because these guys don't have a lot of chips.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone's got the same stack size. Like, we're in that situation again. Usually things end a little bit quicker when there's one big stack and he's just raising every hand, and eventually these short stacks have to feel like they reshove into him, and then some guys just clash. With the current situation, it's a bit more of a stalemate.
Oh, he's trapping. Before he was just jamming, but now he's trapping. Hoping that Joao Vieira makes a play. We have seen people make plays with like other garbage, where they're like, well, I don't really want to see a flop with this. But Joao Vieira is having none of that. He's just going to check. Even though it's not the best flop ever for king-queen suited, still have a gutter ball.
Yeah, it's definitely enough to continue. Joao Vieira is going to get some free cards.
Or technically, that's a straight draw, right? Like someone got upset at me for calling it like, that's not a gutter ball. I'm like, yeah, I guess. It's a straight draw.
These things, don't they ever tell you, like, these are not the important details of the commentary?
Oh, no. You should see the stuff that we have to deal with in StarCraft. People are funny.
All right, so it's probably going to check down.
Will this go into the history books? It's one of the most underwhelming hands of poker we have ever seen.
Well, Joao Vieira's thinking about making a bet. He is going to fire. Wow, and this might work. Arseniy's thinking, why didn't you bet the turn or flop? Are you really value betting me with a 3?
He's got the second not low, by the way. I just want to point out.
Nice play.
He takes it down. Joao Vieira. Yeah, that's nice. Makes the hand a little more memorable.
Yeah, it's back to life. Ever since we had that little spiel about him right after the break, like he's like, nah, I'm gonna show these commentators up.
We often do have like a player that has been quiet in the first hour and then just goes on a heater at the start of hour 2, right? And comes out guns blazing, wins hand after hand.
Well, it's sometimes during that 5-minute break, there's something clicks in their head, right? They're like, okay, I've been tight. Let me make some moves, get a little time to think. Oh,
whoa. Alex Ponakovs. I mean, that's a tough call. It's not easy, right? But he might think he's good here, and he obviously
is. I feel like I gotta call this one. We've seen people in this spot, they folded before. It's the risk reward ratio. Obviously, from an ICM point of view, it's bad to get it in. If you think about the window, like, man, it's too often that opponent's never has ace queen plus. He just never does, right? Oh my god.
I can't blame him, but yeah, you're right. Because I feel like whenever they do that, it's often smaller pocket pairs too, right? That they do it with, like the 5s, the 6s, the 7s. If they really
against those hands, you don't want to call because you don't want to coin flip with the ISM implications. You need to think about how often you're up against a dominated situation. How often your opponent has like an ace 10, an ace 9, ace 8, ace 7. I think it's a lot. Like if I get to this final table, I'm just gonna go, fuck it, I call. You bust me, but I'm not getting done like this with whole cards up with all the YouTube chat gonna laugh at me after,
I'll be honest, Nano, if you would ever make it to a final table that would have final table betting, I would feel pretty confident about putting some dollars on you after
Okay.
listening to. Yeah, like not saying that I expect you to win it, probably not, but I do know that you will be in it to win it, and that will already make you a pretty decent bet.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, it's easier behind the commentator booth because obviously we don't have anything at risk, right? We understand there's a lot of money on the line. But there's just certain things I just cannot pass up, like 2 jacks pre-flop, right? Like, I'm just like, you got it, you got it. But even if we get it in, if you got ace king, I'm gonna win that flip. That's what I'm thinking. I'm an optimistic guy.
Whoa, Matthias
Ooh,
Eibinger.
GG.
Snap call. Yep. Yeah, Reptar is not folding jacks. He's in really good shape. That is a scary flop, though. 2 hearts on the board. No heart or king. And Matthias Eibinger is out. That is, oh my God, he's out. Wow. I did not see that coming, Nanonoko. King 10, Matthias Eibinger thinking that Reptar will not call almost anything unless he has aces or kings. Well, he just snap called with the jacks. What a hand for Reptar. 33-1, by the way, starting final table betting. And he is now our dominant chip leader. Matthias Eibinger is out in 6th place.
He came in second? Is that right, Roddy?
That is right. He came in with 2.1 million chips.
Yeah, wow. A little bit of, do you think that was a little bit of a blow up? Because he had a lot of big blinds at hand. I think about 24.
It is a punt.
Yeah, he punted and it went through the field goal. It went through the goal. Look, did you see Reptar? He put roar like he's a dinosaur.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, good move for good news for Joao Vieira, who's now top 5. Every player that's left has guaranteed themselves at least $222,000. Yeah, and now that's one of these hands where Eibinger is gonna look back at it as like, a little unnecessary, perhaps. Like, yeah, if it works and you pick up some big blinds and you get them to fold weaker aces, then it's cool. But also, just shout out to Snap calling.
Oh, Joao Vieira is now going to be out. Reptar. I told you something about Reptar. He's going to get to the heads up for sure. Ferrari Man did it last week. You got to call it this ace queen. There we go.
Calls.
Reptar.
Joao Vieira needs to find a 6 or... No, that's not a good looking flop for him. It needs to be a 6 and a 6 only, or we are down to 4. That is not a 6. Too many pips. Wow. Wow, Nanonoko, we are down to 4, and Reptar has 5.7 million, 5.6 million chips. Unbelievable.
Roar. He got to do the roar again, Reptar.
Yes.
Just do it again for us, Reptar. Oh my God. Now this is a clear chip lead, Roddy. Yes. He can't believe it, I'm pretty sure.
If you guys missed our pre-show, the 9th place payout was already the biggest cash of Reptar's career over at GGPoker. And Reptar normally plays a $300 triple chance, a $300, I don't know, what was it, bounty hunters or something along those lines. Most of his big tournament finishes were of $300 buy-ins. He is now chip leading the final table of a 25K buy-in with 4 people left. Hello?
Yeah, and see, the thing is, these guys are mistaking Reptar as like Dimius G folding every single hand, and like the Ferrari Man who folded to heads up and won it. Like Reptar is actually he hasn't been playing that many hands, but he's not afraid. He just hasn't been getting dealt bad hands, and he's been playing the hands he should be playing correctly.
Absolutely. Reptar really is not afraid. He is playing solid poker, and his good hands are holding up, and that's obviously a very important part. Do think he's going to lose some chips here. If you call on the flop, you're probably calling on the turn. And I can't fault him for it. I would call.
I would call one more. Too many draws out there. I probably wouldn't call a river bet. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see if it's amazing, isn't it? It's just Reptar just got 5.2 million chips. It's funny because you expect that one of these other 3 guys, right, to have the chip lead, putting pressure on people, but it's actually Reptar is the one with it. We'll see if he can close it out.
Obviously, guys, out of the 9 players that made the final table tonight, 8 of them have been on one of our final tables before. This is week 38. 8 out of 9 guys have been to a final table before of a 10K high roller Super Millions. The only player that's never made it to a final table is Reptar. Well, now here he is. He is gonna lose a few more chips probably. No, as Arseniy Malinov casually flops the nuts. It's no longer the nuts, but still very good.
Wow, he just snap checked it. You saw that? He's like trying to bait his opponent to bet. Hope he's got a 7 or something. I think Reptar should continue checking. Nice. Lose the minimum.
Yep. Arseny's like, damn it. How do I get this guy to lose some chips to me?
Now he's gonna overbet. I was gonna say, I felt like the overbet was coming because he's like, well, I didn't get any bets on the previous streets. Got to make up for it.
Don't be a hero, Reptar. The king, now he's feeling it. He's like, I'm on top of the world, baby. I'm chip leading at 25K. I'm calling these nerds down with king highs. Like, no, don't do it.
Let's go back into that. This is a big tournament for you. Let's hold on to these chips. No!
Oh, no! You see, he's feeling it, Dananoka. He's like, I'm in the Matrix, baby. I've got this. This is like, he's putting on Drake. He's like, it's time to become, excuse my French, but a motherfucking legend, you know? He's like, I'm doing it. Like, oh,
Reptar, come on. Let's be that guy who's 33-1, who's got no name to, you know, like, let's be that guy. Let's not be the guy who calls us King Jack High.
I mean, it's a gangster play. Just wrong.
Didn't Tony
wrong
G
moment.
say something, Roddy, about the King Jack?
Yeah, never overplay King Jack. It's the first thing he teaches everyone. He's like, on your bike, back to Russia. It was with the Russian man too, you know, that famous answer. On Russian, on your bike. It's like, no, actually, I flopped the straight. He's like, oh, nice answer. All right, back to normal, Reptar. Back to normal. You had your moment. We dusted off 1.5 million real quick. Let's keep it together.
Yeah, if I was Reptar, one of the other things I would have thought about in that hand is, if I call him wrong, where does it put me in the situation, right? Because now he doesn't have the clear chip lead, where you got to think about these things, right? Like, I don't know. I don't like it.
No, I understand you don't like it. I don't think anyone likes it. I don't even think Reptar likes it. But, you know, sometimes you're just feeling it, Nana. You're on a roll. And you're like, I'm about to be immortalized over here tonight, baby. Like, I'm going to win the 25K against 8 poker stars. Like, literally poker stars. Guys that have won countless of tournaments. And I'm calling people down with King High.
You think maybe he's removing one of the digits from the payouts and it's like, oh, yeah, this is just a 5-digit score, you know, today. Like, I'm just going to... This is 25K. It's 50K up top. It's a lot of money, Roddy.
I know, but you know, we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna give him any flack. I can get it. Like, he's feeling it, you know. He was on a roll. He felt the momentum, and he wanted to become a legend. Let him have it.
Oh, he's a legend, just a different reason. But moving on.
That was cool, though.
Alrighty.
Alex Ponakovs made a pair of aces on the river.
Let's throw a value bet out there. Just try to get hero called by like a 9, a 10, something.
Yep. Doesn't have to be much. 155, 160, whatever. $132.
Nice. Nice size. Maybe King High calls again? No. Okay. Just thought maybe it was a trend we throwing around.
You know what I love as well, though? Like, if Arseniy would have bet like 110K and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to see what's up. Then we'd be like, you know, it's all good. That was a 2-time spot bet. It wasn't just an over bet. He bet 2 times the pot on the river. 700K. Anyways.
It was funny because I felt like the overbet was coming too, right? Like, it just seems like what happens with these big hands. 2 jacks and jack 10 suited. Is Reptar going to call a 3-bet, you think? He might just be on tilt. He might be
well, that's... I think actually you will... Yeah, I think you will call 210 because you're calling 210 to play for 830,000 chips, right? Or 840 even. I do think you have to call this.
As long as your opponent does this with some ace kings, some ace queens, yeah, you definitely won't be calling here. Let's see, Reptar does call. loses a little bit more.
Just let's not get carried away. Let's not float here with Jack 10 of hearts. I know
Yeah.
he sees the back doors. He's like, what if the Queen of Hearts rolls up on the turn? My hand's pretty good then. It's like, no, Reptar. No. The Queen of Hearts is not coming, and we're not calling.
It's a tiny, tiny bet, and he's starting to see those backdoors way more, Roddy. I tell you, it's like less than 25% pot. Like he can't unsee it. He does make the call, and backdoor hearts is there. Roddy.
You said, Davies, you do start getting a little worried here, though, right? Like there is a king on the flop. Your opponent raised under the gun. He called your raise.
Yep. I'm definitely worried. You think you should either bet like a third and check back river or check back the turn and play the river card? I think both plays are pretty fine. Reptar. You gotta fire. You got jack high, right?
No, stop.
You got to. You have to, though.
It's okay to lose. It's okay to lose pots sometimes, Nana.
I just jam. It's
okay to lose a pot every now and then.
He jams, he wins his pot.
That's
not
not
that
a good bet.
That's not big enough.
No, that's not a good bet. I don't like that bet.
It's too small. Your opponent actually has a lot of queens and jacks and tens because they didn't fire the turn. Ace king would fire the turn a lot. King queen would fire the turn a lot. He's targeting ace queens, ace jacks, ace tens at 3-bet him. Those hands probably should fold to his bet sizing. I do think because of how likely his opponent has queens and jacks, like he should size it up a little bit.
So is he pretending that he has a flush or that he has a king?
Yeah, he's pretending he's got king queen. Oh my god, it worked.
It worked. All right.
He's back.
You know, it's funny that you just said, "Oh my God, it worked," because that is actually a meme in the StarCraft scene. It's a very old meme and it's a bit of a private meme, but oh my God, it worked. It's a classic for some of us. I'm happy to see you bringing it up.
I didn't know that one. I'm just wondering how that even would work in StarCraft, right? It's not like you're just clicking moving some Marines around, mining some gold or whatever hell you do in StarCraft.
We mine minerals and gas, but. I can give you the story real quick, even though we'll keep a close eye on the action. Basically, we have a commentator that's supposed to be the hype commentator. So, you know, play-by-play caller. Yeah. He's not very technical. And he saw a move coming and he got really excited. And he's like, whoa, he's setting up the trap. And he's like, oh my God, it worked. But actually, it really didn't work, you know, like the guy barely killed anything, lost more resources than he actually did damage to. So we all just started laughing. We're like, nice call, mate. It really worked. And now we started doing it. Oh my God, it worked. When it clearly didn't work.
That sounds like a meme I would love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to go back to the hand and go away from the memes, that's a pretty crazy hand now. That's a big one for Reptar.
Yeah. I mean, I want to think about that one a little bit more. From Seth Davies' point of view, I guess it's kind of hard for his opponent to be bluffing because there was no obvious missed flush draw. Interesting, actually, but I want to talk some more about it. I feel like Reptar's just been crazy lately. He probably will fold just given the hand he's got, but you never know. He might just... He's here to play lately.
But that's a big size, though, by Arseniy.
Means it's polarized. It's very polarized.
What?
This guy is a crusher.
Reptar! What? Reptar, you're so sick.
Reptar is not a $150 GG master player. This guy deserves... He bought in this 25K. Okay?
Yeah, he did.
Straight up. He's YOLOing it. Beautiful.
No. He's playing like a stud over here with no fear and no regard for the seasoned veterans that are surrounding him. Guys that play these kinds of tournaments all the time. Reptar is just another legend that the High Roller Super Millions is producing right in front of our eyes.
Wow.
What? Oh my God! Nano, what a hand! That is so sick! What?
He showed it too. Did you see? He showed it.
Oh my, what are we watching tonight? Wow.
Wow.
They are delivering, Nano. This is so sick. This is actually so sick.
25K buy-in. They're playing crazy. Great read from Arseniy Malinov. He was thinking, You 4-bet me way too fast. Chip leader versus second place. That was a brilliant read.
I don't even know what we are watching anymore. Last week we had a couple of crazy hands. You remember the deuce 5 of hearts that Limitless was in? Like I saw some of the other guys tweeting about it too. Like this is one of the most ridiculous hands I've seen. This hand was pretty mental too. What the hell?
That was sick. It was just so sick.
And that's why I love the Russians, Nanonoko. That's why I love the Russians. It had to be Arseniy. Wow, this could be action.
We've actually never seen that play before, Roddy, at our 38 weeks. We've never seen anyone do the 5-bet jam with like some kind of weak hand like that. It was just so sick.
Yes, 4-handed as well. Massive pay jumps. Wow. I mean, Seth Davies is probably calling here, at least.
That's annoying because like you turn equity and your opponent might just ship it in on you, you know?
Yep. What do we... Alex Ponakovs has 1.3 million. If Arseniy... Okay. Do we just call here? I think we can still call, right?
Just call. No point in jamming. You're getting the right price. You're never getting your opponent to fold, so just call.
Yep. Just call and pray for a beautiful queen or a diamond. Obviously, a queen is the best possible card, but there's the queen. Well, doesn't get any better than that. Seth Davies has the absolute stone cold nuts. How do we play this if we're Seth Davies?
I think he's just gonna jam. He's like, I hope you side call. Okay, well, I guess he thinks his opponent has enough, like 7-6 of diamonds. He might just go for it.
I mean, it is hard to get called. I don't know. Like betting looks very strong too, right? But
I wouldn't call it a misplay. I really think you can go either way with that stack size.
Okay. Well, good news for Seth Davies. He's back to the same amount of chips that he started this final table with. No, I'm loving these Tuesdays, man. Oh my goodness! Like, sometimes you're like, you know what? It could become a boring Tuesday night, and that's okay, you know, because it happens, and not every week can be fun. But that was wild. Whoa!
Lift jam from Seth Davies, pocket fives. Something happened this last 15 minutes, but I'm loving it. I guess it's just Reptar getting chips caused something amongst all these guys. They're like, we can play some sick poker too. He's actually he's the last guy I would expect it to have been such a crazy player, but it's cool. Malinov, yep. I can kind of get. I've seen him play some crazy stuff, but you know he's doing. Only guy who hasn't made his crazy moves yet is Ponakovs for these final four.
Yeah, which is just something that we know that Alex Ponakovs doesn't do, right? Like, he's obviously capable of making a play here and there, but...
How about this one? Is it a play? Is it a play to bust?
I actually think it is. I wouldn't fault him for it. I can see him jamming ace-4 here. It's not a bad play at all. It's just his opponent has ace-jack. Yeah, he does jam. Well, we're going to need some fours. They do appear quite often. He's going to go out with a running hot ace-4 versus ace-jack. Let's see if Ponakovs can get lucky. So far, he does not. Oh, there's the 4. We do have clubs, though. A jack or a club. A jack or a club. But that's not it. Wow, Alex Ponakovs with the double. And all of a sudden, I know he's in second place. Busto or second place. 300,000 chips away from the chip leader. This is anybody's game.
Yeah, this has actually been one of those final tables where there has never been a clear chip leader. When it has, it's been 5 minutes max, which was Reptar. Arseniy had it for about a couple minutes too. He lost it. It's very close. Shortest stack, 30 big blinds. That is a lot.
I don't want to say it's been my favorite final table yet, but it's definitely getting up there. Like, this has been fun, man.
Yeah, it's only going to get better, right? Like, we know that whoever gets to the final 2 heads up, like, it's going to be an epic match too. 8-3. This plays fast.
Yep. Who's the fastest? Was it Romashka who was ultra fast?
He's number 1 fastest, right? He had 14 minutes and 30 seconds or something. And the craziest thing was his VPIP was so high as well. So, like, he's more likely to have used time bank, and he had the most.
All right, following hand. Obviously, the blinds are going to go up real quick if we keep playing like this, guys. Already entering level 32. You guys can see that the blinds will go up in 9 hands again in the top left side of the table. Ace-8, suited, four-handed. We're going to open it up.
You know, it all started with that King Jack call, right, Roddy? If he didn't make that call of King Jack, Arseniy would not be in a position to maybe even 3-bet the 7-6 suited to begin with. It'd just be all different.
Reptar defends Ace-8, and he does flop bottom pair. But obviously, Seth Davies picks up the nut flush draw. That King Jack call is a legendary
It started it
moment.
all because it changed the stack sizes too. It really did.
I feel like we're gonna cover that hand in the GGPoker wildcard cam like 17 weeks from now. And I'm just gonna be like, he's got King Jack, okay? Like everyone knows he's got King Jack.
It would be the easiest one to do, right?
Yeah. That's not a hand that we are gonna forget very quickly. Well, nice run out for Reptar. That could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot tougher hand to play, right? Like, because obviously if he gets multiple barrels into him, he probably would have to fold at some street. But they're both going to be happy to chop this one up.
Everyone loves a chop pot. Seth Davies is still on short a stack, by the way. Not by a whole lot, but...
It's funny because Seth Davies came into the final table as a chip leader. I feel like he's gotten down real short multiple times, but somehow it's still back to where he started.
Well, he was a river card away from being eliminated against Matthias Eibinger, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember
Alex
which one it
Ponakovs.
was. Yeah, it's been more than once for him, I feel like. Okay. We just ship this one in. If 7-6 suited's going in, how about 6-5 of diamonds? It's going to call a 3-bet. Now, these backdoors are reasonable. They're important.
It's a big pot. Alex Ponakov does flop 2 overs to the board. And obviously, he has his own little backdoor straight draw.
Yeah, I don't think Malinov's going to fold to a tiny bet if it does come. Well, check. Anyone's game.
Yeah. I think if Arseniy bets big, he can take it down. But if he bets very small, Ponakov might not believe it.
Go for King Queen high. It's pretty hard to call even this 480k bet. I think man, Malinov's playing great.
Yeah, I do like the way that Malinov is playing.
Reptar's my number one still though, just because he's epic.
Oh, damn it, I totally forgot. Did I even
Free
mention
roll?
the free roll? I think I'm too late. Let me just double check. Do we have some? No, we have 5 minutes left, guys. Head over to the free roll section over at GGPoker. We have one final free roll starting. I don't know what we're giving away. 8 $25 tickets to one of the GG Masters event. The password is a week. W-E-E-K. Week. So week 38 is what we're currently in. Good luck if you're playing. Go win it.
I kept on seeing the mod type in week. I'm like, man, is he talking about some of the players playing or who's he talking about?
No, not that kind of week. He's like, the commentary is weak tonight. We're like, hey, James, come on, take it easy, mate. We're doing our best over here. So Davies has a straight, by the way.
Yeah, he's trapping. Nice trap. Usually we'll get a bait from someone. I think at this point I would probably bet. If my opponent didn't take the bait on the 4-straight on the turn, I think I just hope he's got something. Good game. What is he, just leaving?
No, I think that's to needle him a little bit. He's like, oh, you're checking you straight to me. Eh? He's like, nice value. Good game, mate. A very sarcastic, good game. Alex Ponakov. I think that's a hand I would like to just check with. See if you can flop anything.
Agree. You don't want to blow it up the pot. This
is
Arseniy, he checks so fast.
I think this is where you want to start betting, though. Unfortunately, it does not get rewarded, but it does make some sense because all of a sudden, like, you flop 2 pair, you're like, yeah, and then it's like 4 to a straight, and there's double flush draw on the board. You're like, maybe we should start applying some pressure. I have absolutely no idea who's going to win tonight in Nalanoko. I'm still like obviously going to go with Arseniy because that's the one that I picked at the beginning of the show, but it really feels like this is anybody's game.
I agree with you. I would love to see a Reptar Arseniy match just because of the history that's been going on. But you know, it really could be anyone's game. And based on the chip stacks alone, that's what it's saying. Right now, the last few hands have been a little bit of calm. I feel like there's too much craziness, so people are like, okay, maybe they're gonna bust, so let's not do it.
I mean, there is a $400,000 difference between winning this tournament or taking 4th place. So I understand that we're actually like after 7 minutes of just what felt like mayhem. Like, you know what, maybe we should play good poker again. It's a pretty good spot actually. We're at the final 4 of a 25K buy-in. So that's what they're doing. Well,
those cards look a little funny. All right, there we go. Dealer couldn't spread them out.
Sticky deck. They've been drinking. You know, that's what happens. I don't know if you've seen this, but lately I've been getting a lot of advertising on my Instagram about like a deck of cards that you can basically wash. Like the cards are metal. Have you ever seen this before?
I don't know why you're getting such ads, but no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what I Google either, mate. But like the cards are all like black, but they look kind of cool, and then you can just wash them, so you can play them during, you know, while you're eating chips or drinking, and you don't have to reuse paper cards over and over again. I was like, but it seems like very difficult to bend. But I think you can bend them actually. So.
Can you squeeze them? Because that's what's important, right? That's the reason why the squeezing feature was built into this client. It's because it's fun.
No, absolutely. I believe you can. I guess, I mean, there is something to be said for it, right? Like we're trying to recycle things and trying to make things last longer. And if you think about the amount of cards that we burn, you know, it's obviously doesn't have a big impact on the environment or something, but if you can make a little difference, hey, maybe it's something to keep an eye on, who knows. Anyway, we have mid pair battling it out with King 9 of Diamonds.
Thank God a hand started to develop. I was like, oh my God, what are you shilling over there, Roddy? This random
No, mate. Well, I didn't mention, I don't even know the name of the, I'm not shilling anything, mate. I've seen it, and I was just wondering if you've seen it before, but no, I don't know who makes it, and I have not bought it. But I looked at it, I was like, oh, maybe it's the future, who knows?
All right, so flop and turn bet. King high calls. Nice value from Malinov, huh? Just middle pair jack kicker.
Well,
don't tell me he's going for 3 streets of value of jack. Hey, that'd be insane. Okay.
He's going to check, and he's going to receive the good news that his pair of 8s is good. Wins a big one, pushes him over 4 million. Now Reptar is not the shortest, but very close to it.
Roddy, this is my blind level. The 50,000, 100,000. I know exactly how many big blinds everyone has.
All right. Ooh, we've got pocket 4s. And Arseniy doesn't strike me as a guy who folds pocket 4s. Okay, he's going to see a flop. And he's going to figure out how he wants to play his set of 4s.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to at least see a flop. Maybe he wants to be aggressive and just ship him in pre-flop. It's a play, especially if this chip stack. Yeah, snap shove.
Okay, I'll admit I did not see it coming. That's a pretty big shove.
Pocket 4s again. Throw him around.
On the big blind.
Do you think he makes the same play, or is he more of a calling type?
He will call. I do not believe that Alex Ponakovs will jam, even though he is the shortest stack. But that seems out of character for Alex Ponakovs to go all in here.
You want him to call because you just want to see that flop.
You got me. You're on to me.
Yeah, he's thinking about jamming for sure.
I mean, we're never folding, right? That'd be silly. All right, we're just gonna call.
Should have jammed. Would have won the pot.
I don't know, man. Reptar's pretty crazy. Reptar may have just snap called his ass.
Yeah.
We're gonna be forced to fold the pocket fours. I'll be honest with you guys, the fours are not delivering in the same way as they are delivering in every other tournament that I ever play. Something about the high roller super millions.
You know, what I noticed is Reptar has got the most time bank, yet this is like the biggest buy-in for him relative to the other three guys, you know? Like, this guy just playing, he's been playing fearless lately. But now we actually finally have that clear chip leader, and you can see the little bit of the 9-4 clubs just getting it done there. So we'll see if he continues to just raise it up.
Let's see what Reptar does with Queen Deuce suited in the small blind. It's not
Test the
great, but
waters.
small blind against big blind. We're gonna raise
Raise.
it up.
It's aggressive. It's very aggressive with these stack sizes, and this sizing too is quite small. It actually invites a lot of calls from the big blind.
He does get called. It's not a good flop for Seth Davies. If Reptar just bets here, I think he'll probably take it down.
Yeah, just throw in like 180k, 200k, 150k, sure. It's enough to take it down, I imagine.
Yeah.
Unless Seth Davies thinks this guy is way out of line. Which he is, but even if he's out of line, I'm not calling with King 7, I feel like. It's no good back doors.
No, I really didn't have much going. Well done by Reptar. Because, like, yeah, you may not believe that he has an ace, but on the other hand, you know, it could also be so small that he's trying to debate you because he actually does have a big ace. And like, oh, wait, couple of decent hands here. Button, small blind, and big blind.
Yeah, interesting. King 10 seems a little bit too weak to do anything but fold. Ace 8 suited.
Jam.
I know he's thinking about jamming for sure. He's just looking at, oh, it is 27, 28 big blinds. It would be a disaster if I'm wrong.
Wow. Spicy flop.
Yeah, actually
the
quite
ace
interesting.
8 makes the open-ended straight draw, and obviously has backdoor diamonds. And Jack 10 flops the top end of a gutter ball, and obviously has 2 overs to the board. I think we can check here over Arseniy, right? We're still open-ended. We have an ace. Wow, he just bets so big. What?
Yeah, he's trying to represent that hand again.
You remember when I had 7-6? I'm flop 2 pair this time. So we have Queen 9 offsuit here on the button for Seth Davies. Arseniy has his hand dominated. Queen Jack is pretty good in the small blind. Are we 3-betting this, Nanonoko? Are we jamming?
He's thinking about jamming for sure. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
I'm almost tempted to call from Alex Ponakovs here. Like, his hand is obviously not great, but you pay 100k to play for 650k?
From the odds point of view, you would be calling. Obviously, yeah, it doesn't play that great though. 3-way, it's better heads up. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Would have folded mid pair.
Yeah, no, but imagine, like, it's not like you're calling down mid pair, right? If your opponent puts in multiple barrels, so that's the reason.
No, I get it. It does make sense. So let's see what these two decide to do. Because obviously neither player flops a whole lot. Ooh. That's a good card for Seth Davies, right? If Arseniy just checks here, he can bet.
Yeah, very good card. Seth Davies was thinking about what his opponent was flatting the small blind with. I think these Queen Jack type hands are the type of hands that probably would flat the small blind. Like something that's reasonable that is, he's still checking, but he rivers the 9. Check, I guess.
Yeah. Then I guess we may as well check. May go for like super tiny value, but seems unnecessary because what if you bet here and then all of a sudden you get raised?
Yeah, it seems unnecessary. I agree. I would be thinking about what my opponent would be reshoving with 20 big blinds. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot.
Yeah, so still down to 4. Things have calmed down a little bit after the craziest 10 minutes we have seen in quite some time. Well, obviously, the blinds will just keep going up. Alex Ponakov is our short stack, but not by a whole lot. Wow, he just jams 10-8. If that Queen 8 suited would have called, 10-8 would have been in a world of trouble. But...
That's a big shove for 18 big blinds. A really big shove.
Small blind against big blind. You just gotta send it sometimes. King 5. Very marginal. I don't hate that fold actually. Like I know that you want to defend your big blind sometimes, but King 5 offsuit, like suited, yeah, easy call. Offsuit, I like the fold. Reptar could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I think the ace 10 for sure will rejam this hand. It's just, it's good enough for the 23, 24 big blinds.
So fast. So fast. I like the fast players, mate. Romashka and Arseniy, heads up. I want to see it. 4 tables. How do you think Limitless and Fader Holtz are going to play? Are they both known to be fast players? Like, I think Limitless is, right?
Yeah, Fedor is known to be a slow player, a really slow player, at least in live poker. He probably he thinks about everything. I think Limitless will play a bit faster. Yeah, but honestly, it doesn't really matter how fast they play because whole cards are up, so it's gonna be fun to see no matter. Oh, okay. Arseniy's spicing things up. He heard us when he said it's been quiet for a while.
8-7. It was 7-6 of diamonds before. This time it's 8-7 offsuit.
This is really hard to make a playback with ace-5 suit. Oh my god!
Does it? Wow! Now you can show the 5. Yes, show the 5. Show the 5, Reptar. Karma. What comes around goes around. I love these two, man. I love these two. That's awesome.
What the? Because he only had 21 big blinds to start the hand. That is a big, big read. That's the thing. When you get when someone shows you the bluff, you want to show it back. I think Arseniy did that to himself.
Yep. Reptar is awesome. And Arseniy is obviously awesome too. Okay. I'm glad we had that. We needed that.
Yeah, it's like, it's a little, so what happens, it's actually quite calm for a while, and then it gets a little crazy for a little bit, right? And it's just calm again. We gotta get them heads up. We gotta knock out the other two guys.
Well, we have queens here, by the way. Yes, absolutely. I just knew he was going to show the 5, Nano. Because if he shows both, then it's like, whatever, he had an ace. But he only showed the 5, and I was like, oh, I love that. That's so good. If Seth Davies jams here, which I think some people would think about it, but that's not really how he plays. Obviously, be a very big jam. But it's a suited king after all.
Well, he's going to play it. It's just whether he's going to limp call or limp jam. Limp call is the standard, but some guys go super aggro. Okay, he's gonna flop bottom pair. Actually good for him because, the overcard to the queens makes the queens not want to go full value 3 streets.
For that price, you may have to call, right? You have backdoor spades, you have a pair.
Of course. You might have the best hand. Nope, terrible turn.
Why would you ever call there, guys, for 150k? I'm so silly. No, kidding.
Tough. He might call again. He could see how he might be trying to get muscled off like a 7x type hand a lot, which probably, it does make sense. If Arseniy had like 2 hearts, he would bet again for sure.
I think
because you gotta remember, Seth Davies didn't limp jam the 20 big blinds, which is very ace heavy, so he looks quite weak, but nice fold.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with the fold. Like it makes sense to me, because that turn was just one of the worst turns. The only thing you can say is like, oh, it's less likely he has an ace, but he doesn't really have the chips to like all of a sudden represent an ace himself, and obviously the spade rolls are dead. A king
could be drawing dead too.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't like it. 7-4 jamming from the small blind. Arseniy is starting to run away with this a little bit. No, go.
I agree. And then Reptar is just gonna somehow find some extra chips from him. But yeah, he's definitely getting things done. Finally, like a clear chip lead. The other two guys are just kind of outlasting each other right now.
Yeah. Alex Ponakovs and Seth Davies are not doing each other any favors at this point. Don't do it, Arseniy. Whoa. One of my lamps just died. I just got these the other week, Nanonoko. They don't last very long, apparently.
That's all right. Still there. Reptar still got chips. Arseniy still got chips. I think everything is good, Roddy. Limp with King 6 suited. The powerhouse.
Yeah, the Ben CB powerhouse, the official one. I've played King 6 now, by the way, especially because you put it in my brain too. Never delivers for me. Just flop a pair of 6s. No, I've been getting snap called by like ace 4 and stuff. I'm like, well, that wasn't a good move. Thanks, Ben.
It's like all these Super Millions guys are costing you in some way, whether it's final table betting or it's, you know, Lena 900 or Ben CB. It's pretty funny.
I mean, he's gonna throw in a couple chips there. With the 8 of hearts, I mean, that's kind of a crappy heart, right? Like, even if you would hit your flush. Oh, well, Arseniy is going to bet.
Check raise. Wow.
Alex Ponakov and me are in the same boat. He's like, damn you, Ben CB.
Brilliant play from Malinov, though. Like, I guess he reads Ponakov's limp as very weak. Because, wow, he actually calls with the best hand, though. Okay. This is some high-level poker going on.
That's a big call, because looking at his stack, he only has 1.2 million left.
Wow, if Arseniy can fire again, man, he really puts his opponent on like a pocket 9s, pocket 8s type hand, I think.
He does.
This is sick. This is very sick. I can't believe he's making this bet. And if Ponakovs made a great call on the flop, but man, he's in a tough spot here. I don't know if he can continue.
When he gives him the haha, but he folds. Arseniy is not going to show this one. That's obviously a great move by Arseniy, but Ponakov, then I feel like if you're calling on the flop, why are we giving up for a deuce on the turn?
He was suspicious, right? And then, like, that's the thing. You got to remember, your opponent can still follow through with multiple bets on future streets, right? Like, if the hand just closed there, it would have been a lot easier. Here's the jam. Ponakov's thinking about calling with Queen 9. It's a lot of big blinds, 12 big blinds. It could be the best hand, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Could be the worst hand, though.
I understand that he's thinking about it. There might be a better spot, but he might just be steaming a little bit too, right? Because he hasn't won a hand in quite some time. And he may just be getting sick of it. He does make the fault. I wouldn't have faulted a call. I wouldn't have been upset about it. But from an ICM point of view, I guess you have to fault because there is a better... There should be a better spot.
It'd be a terrible call, I think. I could be wrong, but I just feel like it'd be a terrible call with Queen 9 there.
I mean,
maybe if he had like 8 big blinds or something, but like 11.5 seems way too much. Oh, blinds are up. He should have called.
If Reptar jams here, he's going to lose everything.
Yeah, I think he might.
It's always tempting to jam the first hand after the blinds go up. And Reptar falls for it, and he's going to get snap called by 10s. Can Reptar get lucky? No, that's a terrible... Well, he needs an 8. That's not a spade. He's wrong that. That's a big double up for Seth Davies. And now Alex Ponakovs and Reptar are both stuck at 1 million with less than 10 big blinds, Nanonoko.
Yeah. Well, Reptar was clear chip leader, 5 million chips, forehand, and now he's at the bottom trying to survive a pay jump.
5.7 million chips. King Jack
offsuit. Was it that high? It was that high, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, God. It was 5.7. Uh-oh. Things get better for Malinov as he just gets a walk. Obviously not bad after the blinds have just gone up. Ace-10, we're going to go all in. Will 7s call?
Yes, I just feel like if Reptar is going to go down, it's got to be the Malinov, right? This is going to be a slam dunk, get it in for both players. He's only got 9 big blinds. Maybe even less now.
Yeah. I guess okay because Alex Ponakov doesn't have a lot of chips. I think it'd be scarier if Alex Ponakov would have like 3 million. Then I'd be a bit scared with 7s, to be honest. But Ace 10 versus pocket 7. So far, the 7s are good. The 7s stay good. We need an ace or a 10 on the river or the poker fairy. Oh, that's an ace! The ace of diamonds. Reptar is not going down without a fight. He will stick around. Wow. All right. Alex Ponakovs tilted. That's a $100,000 river card that just went against him. Yeah. Ace deuce cannot call here because Alex is so short. This is it, man. Like 6 big blinds for Alex Ponakovs. Deuces? Do we send it? Apparently
not.
I'm a tiny bit surprised, Nano. It's not great, but...
I don't know the answer to that question, but I just know that every high roller hates pocket 2s through 6s. But maybe they play 6s more. Pocket 2s through 5s, they just never play it.
Well, he might go all in with ace 3, but he's going to get snap called by Seth Davies, who's sitting on ace queen offsuit.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is it. You got to jam this ace 3. There's nothing to wait for.
Yeah, blinds next, like big blind following hand too. So Alex Ponakovs will go for it, and Seth Davies is going to figure out whether he wants to call or all in. Man, what a comeback by Mr. Davies, eh? He was under $1 million at one point, Nanonoko, and there wasn't even a chance.
Interesting.
He was a rip. He calls, yeah.
It's interesting that he decides not to rejam. And he lets Arseniy Malinov into the pot. And Seth Davies has been playing some hands quite interestingly, in a way that he always loses these pots are quite interestingly. Like, I would have reshoved that ace queen. And Ponakovs actually could check, I feel like.
You think?
I don't know the right answer. It's weird because you got like some equity and you kind of want to fold out some. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, will he ever fold with 86k left? I guess if Davies and Malinov both go all in here, would he fold?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh, what a spot! He has to call. Ponakovs has to call. Imagine if a deuce rolls off, he could win the hand. That'd be so sick. A deuce or an ace, right? Wow.
3.
He's an ace or a 3. That's what he needs here. An ace or a 3. It's a deuce. Now he loses to the higher straight. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. That's going to be it for Alex Ponakovs. As Malinov just gets richer. He's at 7.4 million. Nanonoko, he's got more chips than the other 2 players combined.
That was such a weird hand. Seth Davies has been giving some interesting pre-flop spots. It's funny because it actually worked out for Seth Davies. He would have had more chips, but he actually favored. Like if you had a choice to give up a little bit of chips and have one guy bust out immediately, like you would do that, right? Here's take 300,000 and take a 500,000 and bust out Ponakovs. But weird hand.
Yep. Well, guys, we are down to 3 for this special edition of the High Rollers Super Millions, where instead of a 10K, like it's been for the past 37 weeks, it is a 25K buy-in, over 600,000 at top. We are entering our second break. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet, and also turn on the little bell so you can get notifications for whenever we go live. We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you guys in 4 minutes.
The GGPoker Wildcard Cam.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Wildcard Cam, where Nanonoko and I will do our best to predict the hand of our villain, as we are taking a look at a heads-up battle between Pluto the Doggo and Pascal Hartman. Nano, Pascal Hartman is a tough one to predict.
I mean, he's a really solid player. He is limping here pre-flop, so I think all 4 of these hands are very possible. But what is Pluto doing with Jack 5 offsuit?
He's doing Pluto the Doggo things. The flop is 9 deuce 3 with 2 hearts. What would Pascal Hartman limp? I feel like Jack 10, we could raise it up. Queen 8, we raise it up. I'm feeling King 6 suited. That's what I'm feeling.
Queen 9's my pick, hand number D.
Alright, well, I'm feeling B. Let's take a look what Pascal Hartman decides to do on the flop. Just makes the call. 7 of diamonds rolls off. Nano's going hand D. I'm going hand B. Let's see what it is.
Pluto the Doggo is betting again, just Jack 5 high. Okay. I want to say both of our choices are pretty live.
King 6 suited is gonna make the call here. not just get it all in and be a little yellow. The flush does complete on the river. Blue to the dogger does make a pair of fives, but nobody really cares about that. We want to know what Pascal Hartman has. Pascal goes for the all-in. Blue to the doggo. Oh, he's gonna have to let this one go.
I accepted this match because
I can offer also playing drunk. Like I can drink on the stream, like I drink like whole bottle of wine.
I love the challenge and
I can play Fedor heads up any stakes he wants. It's actually a deal.
I cannot wait to take this guy's money.
Fedor's an outstanding poker player.
He's just been winning tournament after tournament.
Whose name you might know from online. His username is Limitless. His real name is Viktor Malinowski.
If I focus fully on one thing, then it becomes better.
Yeah, don't even try.
I'm pretty confident in my game and ability. Playing on the highest level against the best in the world, it's always been a love of mine.
I crush everything in life. I'm just built that way, that I just like competition, I like tough matches, and I just enjoy the game.
Fedor Holtz is the champion, your EPT13 Barcelona Super High Roller champion.
Fedor Holtz!
When I started actually playing with them, I noticed that, oh, actually everyone is beatable, so...
The lowest stakes now to the highest stakes. Tell me about when you first started grinding online.
You started fucking free rolls.
Yeah, I never deposited, yes.
I'm ready to take you on.
Now I can just enjoy, drink.
Better don't drink too much while playing.
In terms of win rate, I think like 20 BB should be fine.
I think he's gonna be the favorite coming in, but I'm very lucky. I'm gonna motherfucking destroy you.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best. On there, that's making you chuckle.
I was actually watching my Instagram story of my brother's son. I visited my brother earlier today, and he's got a 2-year-old son. I think he's adorable. He doesn't know how to say the color green in Dutch, but he says like green. So whenever I was like, "What color is that?" He's like, "Yeah, green," even though it should be groen because it's a Dutch kid, and just lovely to see. Anyway, guys, we are back. I apologize for that to the high roller Super Millions, as we have Reptar battling it out with Seth Davies. 6-9 offsuit against 6-3.
Yeah, he raised with these stack sizes. Got called by worse. Gets out flopped. Aren't these two guys the one that shouldn't be playing these post flop kind of games, blind versus blind raise pots with these stack sizes?
I don't know. 6-9 turns an open ender. Nanonoko, what is happening? Why is this pot over 1 million?
I don't know, but I think the 6-9 is going to win it because he's going to bet again, right?
Probably.
He's going
His
to
hand is a lot better now than it was on the flop.
Yeah. Sick.
Reptar.
He makes hands interesting despite having no stack and a big stack. It doesn't matter what stack size. This guy's fun.
Yes, he is.
It's not over yet. Seth Davies is thinking with a really bad hand. He makes the correct call. That is sick.
That's a sick
call.
Imagine you just open the stream now. You're like, how is this 1.6 million? Like, what is happening here? What are we watching? Will Reptar go all out with his missed draw or will he give up? I think if he all-ins here, it will work. And he does all-in. No. What are we witnessing tonight? If Seth Davies makes this call, I'm done, okay? I am done.
This is an insane bluff, and then this would be an insane call. Like, this... Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
He shows a 6. You sick guy. Wow.
All right, ace-9. I'd say normally we can jam this, but it's obviously scary to jam when Seth Davies is this short, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Arseniy is crazy enough to jam 7 deuce offsuit.
But the thing is, Reptar's been so crazy in the sense that Arseniy can't be too crazy because this guy might just call it off.
Yeah, because he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, you know, it's already been the best day of my life. I won $383,000. I don't give a damn. If I think I'm good, I'm good.
If there's a little downtime, Roddy, I do want to say something. Let me see what this next hand is real fast. I can't. These hands might be playable. It's king. Okay, king queen suited jam. But I don't know if you saw. I was looking at my Twitter and Fedor's tweeted out that he's gonna play the match with Limitless right this Friday, and he's like, "Come watch me." And do you know who Rui Cow is, Roddy?
Yeah, I believe he owns an esports team.
Correct, he does. He plays all the big high stakes cash games on Triton and stuff like this, right? So he's tweeting at Fedor. You should read it later. And he's like, "You want to crossbook?" He asked him.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Crossbook.
Crossbook means so they're playing 100, 200. If Fedor loses 100,000, then he has to pay another 100,000 to Rui Cow. And vice versa. Okay, ace queen suited into 2 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is going in.
We're jamming and we're calling, right? There's no other way that this plays out.
Yep.
All right, here we go, guys. Ace queen suited versus pocket 10s. If the pocket 10s hold, we are heads up. Doesn't look very good for the pocket 10s. We need a 10 and a 10 only on the river. Man, Seth Davies is a survivor too. He
can't
chips back up. He's like, this is what I started the final table with. What even happened tonight? All right, so he wants to crossbook, so he wants to bet on Limitless against Fedor holds.
So if they do 100% crossbook, that means, so they're playing 100, 200, right? It's like playing 100, 200 again. So whatever the results are, you got to pay out. So if Fedor loses 100K to Limitless, he has to pay 100K to Rui Cow. Now, if Fedor wins 100K against Limitless, then he gets another 100K from Rui Cow at 100% crossbook.
Did Fedor respond?
He says, if I wanted to play higher, then I would play higher because I'm willing to. And then Rui Cow's like, oh, so you want to play for #1 top spot heads up player, but you only want to play 100, 200. He basically LOL'd at him. So like, there's some feuds going on Twitter. Everyone has been feisty ever since the Daniel Negreanu you Doug Polk thing, man.
Okay. I saw the original tweet of the crossbook, but I was like, I'm not even sure what it means. And then I didn't see the rest of it. But yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sharing.
Everyone is just on tilt or something. I don't know what it is, Roddy, but it's great. And I don't know if you saw, did you see that Daniel's going to play Phil Hellmuth too in a heads-up match?
Yeah, but it's live, right? It's like live, super deep. Yeah, I saw a bit about that. Obviously fun. I'll watch if I am free that day, but a little bit less excited about that than I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but I'm less excited about that than Fedor versus Limitless. Like, that's just amazing. Anyway, let's talk about this real quick. 8-9 of spades. Had a pretty big draw. Obviously, the straight draw was very weak, but we did pick up a flush draw on the turn. However, we missed.
Yeah, let's see. The 8-9's, it's got a bet to win, right? Oh, he doesn't bet. But Reptar has stolen a lot of pots off Seth Davies. I mean, that one triple barrel bluff with the 6-9 was so heroic. Because you got to remember, his opponent called the flop, called the turn. It kind of looks like he's got a queen at least, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's got the middle pair that turned into trips. Like, it was bizarre.
Very wild. A great call by Seth Davies on the turn, and he still gets punished because he cannot call the river shove. That's actually kind of sad for him. Queen 8 versus 6-7. Queen 8 makes top pair. I did like the pacing of tonight's final table, I'll be honest. I felt like, like sometimes when everybody has a million big blinds, we always have fireworks down the line, but sometimes it takes a little while. I like this spacing a bit better with people dropping out at, regular pace.
Mm-hmm. Like, usually when we get to our final table, the profiles and stuff, I'm not that excited about the unknown players because, well, they're unknown, right? But they've been delivering like week after week. They've actually been the one to talk about. And it's not just because they're unknown, but they're always making the craziest plays. Or they're just folding their way to win the tournament.
Ferrari man, Dimius G. Dimius G was fun too because he just lost his big blind 17 orbits in a row and he didn't care.
Yeah, and I think via Condios, I think
Look
he
at
was
this.
playing pretty tight too. Wow, bet it from 6. That's not going to work. Malinov's giving it away.
Yep, this can never work. Seth Davies will probably just raise, right? Ah, he just calls. He's just gonna call, and Malinov gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. That sucked. And if you're a Reptar, you hate to see that.
Yeah, Reptar doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't really strike me as someone that cares right now. He just wants to play some poker, get some. He's like please shove into me. Let me snap call you with the king jack. I don't care if it's 15 big blinds.
I would like to see him jam here though.
Well, we know he's going to put chips in there. Just does he want to jam? Or does he want to get greedy and try to get his opponent to call with worse pre-flop? He should check. What the hell was that?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that was my least favorite out of all the options. I mean, he has no diamond. He does call, even though he has no diamond.
Yeah,
he has a gut shot, but
I'll tell you, today, pre-flop, very unpredictable amongst all of the players today.
Post-flop has been pretty unpredictable too, to be fair.
True. This is a tough one to commentate.
Yeah, it's been fun, but all right, deuce 10 is still the best hand, and that sucks for Reptar, man. Maybe he can steal it. Nope, he's gonna give up. Maybe he does can and a knockout. I would have loved to see him just jam this, man. Like, these are pots you just want to pick up. Look at Seth Davies. He's showing him the 10. He's like, that's what you needed, right? So irrelevant, but kind of fun. All right, can we jam King 7, please?
Yeah, he's going to jam this. I don't know. I guess he just had a little brain fart. I don't know what it was. It was kind of weird.
It really was kind of weird, but at least he takes this one down. I like the odds on the side. It's like 4.4 to 1, 6 to 1, 33 to 1. And that man was chip leader. Imagine all the guys who had money on Reptar when he had 5.7 million. Like they were sitting behind their PC. They were like, don't you dare to say he's gonna win it tonight, Nanonoko. Don't you dare. And to be fair, Nanonoko didn't truly jinx him, guys. It was all Reptar trying to become a legend with King Jack offsuit.
Is it also a little bit, it's like extra funny because of his avatar is like this little cartoon dinosaur, like it's like a little kid just drew that themselves.
Yeah. Malinov is betting 9-8 here. He does have the 9 of clubs. Gets called though by second pair. If Seth Davies still wins this, I gotta say that'd be very surprising for a chip leader to still win this. After he was down to 900k when we had like 7 left.
I think he was down to 900k several times, and he doubled up like 3 or 4 times now. So yeah, it'd be very impressive. But he's got the best hand. His opponent river to pair. It'd be nice if he can get like another 360k out of his opponent. Does check though, so it's gonna be hard to get any more chips. He's a grinder.
Yeah, I mean he's up to 3.8 now. 3.9 even. That's the most amount of chips he's had all night long. Ooh. King 9 offsuit, Ace Jack offsuit, and the hand that always flops a set, pocket fours.
Yeah. Is he gonna? He can't call off, unfortunately. Man, they deserve to go to war with those hands. Yep. Seth Davies, what the hell? Oh no!
Well, you want blood, you'll get blood, Nanonoko. Reptar is gonna figure out how he can get the most amount of chips out of Seth Davies here with his ace queen. He's gonna jam and he's gonna get called. Ace queen offsuit versus pocket kings. Can we get an ace? No. Can we get another queen? Not yet. We need an ace or a queen and a no-call, or it's heads up time. Was paint, but it's not a queen. That's going to be it for Reptar. He walks away with $383,000, which is obviously massive because his biggest cash up to this point was $45,000. So he crushed it tonight. This was an amazing performance by him. He gave us some very fun hands. I think he'll think back of that King Jack call. That was maybe a little much, Nenanoka.
It actually is what started off the Malinov train. At least he still got top 3 rather than busting out in 4th. It's an amazing performance. He fought his heart out. Probably had a lot of fun. Didn't have much earnings to his name, but this is a great score for Reptar.
Yeah, I may hope that he had fun. If he didn't have fun tonight, then I don't know how you're ever gonna have fun. Look at this. It is jamming. Ace Jack. Heads up.
It seems excessive. I feel like, I don't know. It was interesting.
Maybe he just wants to tie things up. He's like, let's play solid heads up if we have even stacks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not really into Seth Davies' pre-flop game is different than what I'm used to. Could it definitely be optimal? I have no idea. But it's just some of his choices are a little bit different than what I expect.
King 10 will make the call.
They both got a double gutter, huh? And there's one of them.
That's a sick card too, because he actually flops the flush draw with it as well. So we've got a straight for Malinov. This could become a pretty big pot. Like if I'm Davies here, I would not mind normally betting, right? And be like, maybe I can just take it down. Wow,
Overbet.
what? He just overbets. Nananoko, how big is this pot gonna be?
Once you start to overbet and there's still one card to come, like this pot's going to be huge. It's whether Seth Davies makes his hand and gets paid off, or okay, there's the min raise. Well, against a min raise, you got to call. If he binks the queen, it's over.
Yes. Good analysis. Unless it's the queen of spades, Nananoka. Then it's also
still
over.
I think it's still over.
Yeah, any queen, it's over. It just kind of depends which queen it is, right? Well, it's going to be a brick on the river. The 3 of clubs doesn't change anything. What are we doing now? 3.3 million behind, 4.4 in the middle.
I mean, you can't do anything at the king 10 once that kind of action happens on the turn. So, yeah. Interesting.
Jam fold. That was a weird moment to overbet. Like I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, and Malinov actually, he went for the min raise. He's like, I want to make sure you at least pay off with your flush draw or some kind of draw out there. Yeah, could have played out very differently.
Now we have a more than 2-1 chip lead for Arseniy Malinov. He's got the 8 of spades versus the 3 of spades of Davies.
Nice
at
bet
this
should
point,
be coming.
Don't know if I want to call here with king 3, to be honest.
No, you need the suits reversed. You need the king of okay, he still calls is actually the best hand. But usually you want the king of spades and the 3 of hearts, not the other way around.
Well, then it'd be an easy call.
Oh.
King high.
Brilliant.
Seth Davies. Is this the moment to become a legend?
You saw someone else call king high incorrectly. Do you want to be the second guy calling potentially incorrectly? I mean, that's what he's thinking about, but it is just heads up. This guy's amazing. He's a very good player, this Malinov.
He is. He clearly is, and he's now taking a commanding lead in his heads-up match of our special edition. 4-7, Nenanoko. Got a gutter ball.
Not too long ago, they both had 5 million. I thought this was going to be a lengthy heads-up match, but this has already changed very quickly.
When I saw him jam ace jack offsuit for 5 million, I had the feeling it was not going to be a long heads-up match.
That's actually a really good read on your part. Here's a bet. King 6 probably going to call, right? There we go. Let's do the reverse now. I want to see Seth Davies throw another bet, and let's see if this king high can make a call.
If he bets less than 400k, I actually think Malinov will call. But once we are betting over 400k, Ah, he checks. Well, that's easy. The rich get richer. King high holds. Things are looking pretty bad for Seth Davies all of a sudden. Who's got less than 20 big blinds. I believe it's 18. It's a pretty good flop.
Not too bad, not too shabby. Throw a little bet out there. You gotta protect your hand. Okay, never mind. We'll go for a check.
It's one of the most annoying cards I think Seth Davies could have seen. We know that it doesn't change that much, but
You better bet now, Seth Davies. There's a lot of bad. Never mind. Okay, but it actually rewards him, right? Because now his opponent rivers a pair. I imagine one big blind will go in there, and there's the bet.
we'll call. Obviously, we're at least calling this. Davies will decide to just set up for the calls. Worked out. Back to 3 million. I have the feeling we're just waiting now for a little setup, and we can get it all in pre-flop.
How about a setup with these hands on the flop? A 4. This is a setup, right? It's mid pair versus mid pair with 20 overcards to come.
We're gonna bet. We're gonna get a call, and let's see if you can get your 4 of clubs. Nope.
9-4 is actually in pretty good shape.
It's gonna be hard for Malinov to win this, but if he bets very big, he might be able to get David. That is a big bet, Nanonoko. 500k.
Mm-hmm.
Over
A lot of draws out there, though. 4-9. Seth Davies has made a good call earlier with the 6-3.
Wow. It's a really good call, but he is going to check this, obviously. And then let's see what Malinov decides to do on the river.
Don't you feel like Malinov just has to go for it on this river card? It's like straights get there, overcards get there, flushes get there. He can represent so much. Davies often has an 8x type hand, like an 8-9, a 7-8. These, I don't think they can call another bet.
He is definitely thinking about everything you just said, Nanonoko. And Malinov fires 1.1 million, and this would be an outrageous call. Davies has been making good calls, often on the turn. This is a very difficult call to make.
Yep, I agree. Like, he's good on flop and turn. Rivers is where he gets a little beat up. This is tough. Let's see. So he's got a straight blocker and a flush blocker, but it doesn't really matter. His opponent can value bet worse than just a straight or flush. You can value bet 2 pair, 1 pair, ace, like a queen 10, a queen 9. Like, this is the insane call.
It's a really gnarly spot.
Oh,
I feel like he really wants to. You can feel it, right? Oh,
he really can't. Wants to. He can't. This hand is. I don't care if you're blocking the straight or the flush. He can't call here. There we go.
Well, that's another excellent river bet by Malinov, and that's kind of been the summary of the entire night. Malinov is just really good at pulling the trigger and getting some things through. He has played incredibly well.
Yeah, he's not just solid. He actually multi-barrels really well. The perfect textures and stuff like that. X just phenomenal showing. It's quite dominant performance from.
Absolutely. Why did I not put any money on the only Russian?
It's one of your favorite players too, right? Like, you like the Russian players. I know you always remember about Malinov too. It's just should have did it. You put it on Jason Koon. You put it on Joao Vieira, who didn't want to play a hand. I mean, come on, Roddy.
I know, mate. I know. Thing is, like, if I would have bet on him, he would have probably lost heads up against Reptar, so it's all good.
Alrighty, Jack 8 is gonna try to bluff off the king high. I can't believe Malinov keeps winning these pots. I mean, he didn't win this one just yet, but it sure seems like it, doesn't it?
So hard to call again, because, like, you could actually lose against the worst king too. And that's the worst. Like, you can make a king high call and then you lose against the worst king, and it's like, Davies is getting put in a lot of very difficult spots here.
Yeah, he has. This is a raise pre-flop from Davies. Check down to the river card. He makes the call. Brilliant call of King
Wow.
Deuce.
That is sick. Very, very well done. Davies said, enough is enough. I want to see it if you actually have it for once. Turns out Malinov did not. Well done. Very, very good call.
That's a sick call there. Yeah, Seth Davies was like, I've been folding way too often throughout this tournament on the river. I'm just not doing it anymore.
That's sick. That is sick. Unfortunately, it doesn't change that much, right? Like, he's still... I mean, it's a big moment. It definitely keeps him alive. If he would have lost that pot, he'd be pretty much bamboozled. But he still needs a lot more than that, Nanonoko.
Alrighty. This is a big pot, potentially, Bruin. But we know the Queen-Jack suit is not going to fold.
No. I wouldn't even hate a jam here, but... Wow! Flops the straight against top pair of Malinov. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Now we're talking, Nanonoko. And now that call with the king is actually so damn big. It goes check, check on the flop. And now we can just win so many more chips.
Yeah, I mean, this is Seth Davies' chance to come back in this heads-up match. He doesn't want to see the Jack, Queen, or 7, though. That is a good card. I think Malinov's going to think his hand is best.
We always say that it's hard to make a pair, in heads-up in particular. Top pair, you feel really good about. It's a little less good when your opponent just flops the nuts and actually keeps, well, doesn't keep the nuts till the end. Obviously, we're going to get an all-in here, right? Like, we're not going to be afraid of diamonds or something.
I'm not going to be afraid of diamonds. I agree. Like, there's too many two-pair combinations. The stack-to-pot ratio is small, so your opponent will have to side call off some of these hands. I like the play a lot.
I like it too. Let's see what Malinov does. Let's see if he feels that this is so likely that he's beat here that he doesn't want to lose the last 900K. But folding top pair for 900K when there's 6.1 million in the middle. Wow, and he does. That is actually sick, Nano. I love it. Like, I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of chips in that hand, so we're actually really close again. But nice fold. Like, he didn't want to dust off 900K with a king like some other guys out there, you know what I mean? Yeah, nice play.
So one of those moments where it's like, are they ever bluffing here? And it's like, no, he's never bluffing, so I'm just going to fold. But that still takes a lot of discipline.
I agree. So what looked like it could have been a quick heads-up match, it might be a lengthy one now, right? We're back to 5 million chips.
Well, a jack of clubs on the river. and things will spiral out of control.
King Jack high might... Hey, man, he's making king high calls. He might even call this one.
But this kind of board, though, it's like, yeah, I can get behind the fold here. It's pretty likely that your opponent has a little piece of it, if not a massive piece.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, I've seen Seth Davies already make a king high call. I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to make it. Ace 4. I wonder if they're going to introduce a 3-betting game at some point in this heads up. Doesn't seem like it.
Both players flop a pair. Obviously, Malinov flops best. He also picks up the gutter ball. We're betting here, right? Like, we got to bet.
I think it's reasonable to throw a third pot out there, just to deny a lot of equity. Could have the best hand. Yeah, okay. 2/3 pot, still good.
I mean, ace high and obviously a pair of 4s. I would not fold the call here. I think the queen is going to slow things down. Probably goes check, check. Yep. And that's obviously a good one for Malinov, who wins a 1.4 million chip pot. No. This is normally when your kid wakes up. Oh, ace king of diamonds against ace 9 offsuit. Why is the baby not awake yet, Nanonoko?
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, probably is. I moved to a different room, my location. So probably try to get in the room right now. But I'm like, nah. Seth Davies still trying to come back in. He might be eliminated with the ace 9.
All right, guys, here we go. We need a 9. There is a 9, but there's also a king, so that's extra bad news. Now we need trip 9s or it is all over. Will Malinov be the winner of the 25K? The answer is yes, because that is not a 9. GG, well played. Seth Davies came in as chip leader. He picks up 2nd place. But it's Arseniy Malinov who wins $661,000. And honestly, a very good performance tonight in the High Roller Super Millions 25K edition. Nanonoko, pretty fun episode.
Very dominating performance from Arseniy Malinov. I felt like he played the best at this final table by far. I loved his post-flop game. He won a lot of pots that I felt like a lot of guys would just give up on the last barrel. I think the star of the show still is Reptar a bit, right? Like, it's the guy who, he didn't really play many hands and he just blew up. He got double up after double up and he just went crazy. King Jack high calls, 4-betting ace-6 suited and getting shoved on by the 7-6 of Malinov. Like, all sorts of crazy hands. That guy didn't have much earnings to his name. Usually plays $150, $300 tournaments. Decided to play a 25K for some odd reason, probably because of Super Millions week, who knows. But we got to give it to Reptar. He had an amazing score, amazing run. It was very fun. But Malinov is the guy. He played brilliantly. It was just a dominant performance. And he was kind of the one guy where I felt like he wasn't as icy and scared as some of the other guys, right? He was throwing in 3-bets a lot, trying to put pressure. You know, we saw him 3-betting Eibinger with Jack 5 suited, things like this. This is the strategy you need to ship tournaments. And sure, you're gonna bust out sometimes, but I like what's up top a lot more than what's at the bottom.
I just really enjoyed tonight. I don't think I have much else to say. I think we had a couple of fun hands. I mean, Reptar is obviously gonna kick himself maybe a tiny bit for that King Jack call he made. But still, a top 3 finish is fantastic. I love that he just showed the 5 of hearts when he tried to get one back against Malinov. But tonight it really was all about Arseniy Malinov. He just looked very good from start to finish. Barely made any mistakes. He was aggressive, but he often chose the moments right. He didn't give up on his bluffs, and I think that's very important because people were making very marginal calls against him, but then they couldn't really withstand the pressure that he was putting on them at the end. Just a fun episode with a well-deserved winner that I don't want to brag, but I did kind of pick. And I don't know, let's be real here. Let's be real. I have been kicking your ass in the prediction game over the last 10 weeks. Let's get it on the record.
I was a 2020 winner picker, right? Like you're the new guy, 2021. You're picking. That was a great pick, Arseniy Malinov. Now you just gotta line up your final table betting with your picks, and then you'd be making money and choosing the right winners. Like, you know who's the good players, Roddy. You just gotta pull the right trigger. Like, you're the guy who's like, I gotta fold this hand, and you accidentally click all in. That's you right now, Roddy.
I don't know, man. There's something weird about final table betting. Like, I can bet on Lina 900 week after week, and he's got people drawing semi-dead on the turn, and then they chop on the river, and they come back to beat him in a heads-up match. I've got people blasting off 80% of their stack when the other guy has like 2% of their chips left. I have other Russians failing me in heads-up. I've got Limitless losing to Ferrari, man. There's something weird about me in final table betting, Nanonoko, so I don't know if I'll ever figure that one out, but I do think we had a very fun episode. Don't forget, next week, 10 million guaranteed. Normally it's a 2 million guaranteed. Next week it's a 10 million guaranteed. That's going to be the biggest one we've casted so far, mate.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. I wonder how much first is going to pay. Like, I'm not too good at prize structures. I'm guessing like 2 million for first.
I think more.
Like, it could be 3, right? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how they do the prize structure, but it's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of entries in that tournament. We're going to have some big names for sure. Previous final table Super Millions people, I think, is guaranteed. I guess the question is how many of them? I'm going to guess like 4 guys.
I think more. I think
more. 6?
Yeah, we've been doing this for 38 weeks, Nanonoko. Like, pretty much everyone that's good that plays these 10Ks have been at our final table. I guess the only one that hasn't made it yet is Jans Arends, Grafteco. Like, I feel like he's been tweeting about it, how he does bad in these big ones. So maybe he hasn't made it to a final table yet. I think next week at least 7 out of 9 are familiar faces.
Yeah, very possible. But it's been a great show, this 25K. I guess the next thing, though, to be excited for is, you tell them about that March 5th match.
Upcoming Friday, guys, is going to be the first of the 4 sessions that Limitless and Fedor Holtz will play against each other. And if you thought Danny on the ground vs Dog Pork was fun, this should be epic because they will be live on a Zoom call with each other and they obviously will be taunting each other. They'll be making fun of one another. I want to know if Limitless is going to drink or not, Nanonoko, because that's what he said on the Joey podcast, right?
He is.
I'll play Fedor Holtz, I'll drink, no problem. Live on Zoom, drunk, it's okay, anytime. So that's what I want to see. But yeah, it's going to be 4 sessions. Just make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and you'll get a notification when we go live on Friday. I know that I'll be watching. Maybe I'll even be memeing in the chat a little bit. Should be fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then they have 3 more sessions. I believe they'll play 400 hands each session, 100, 200 blinds. And the following sessions will be on like Monday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday or Friday, whatever. But basically this Friday we kick things off. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll see you in the chat then, Roddy. And we'll be on the sidelines.
All right, mate. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun. We definitely had a couple of very cool hands. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it the same way we did. And we hope to see you again maybe on Friday. And if we don't see you on Friday, then definitely make sure to tune in for the next edition of the High Roller Super Millions. The 10 million guaranteed next Tuesday. Have a good night, morning, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Bye-bye.
The GGPoker Wildcard Camp.
I have realized it's very tough to commentate a guy playing poker on the DID Pluto the Doggo.
And has Jack 5 offsuit, raising from the big blind. Lots of crazy stuff.
Heads up in a 10K, makes the call. Pascal Hartman did have King 6. That's 1 for Roddy, 0 for Nanonoko. But Nano, I've got good news for you. You'll have another shot at redemption next week.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor Holtz stings. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best.